I do not.
I
Wait, you do not remember, or you do not foregore?
I do not forgore.
I close my eyes. I close my eyes. I close my eyes.
You
I
do
closed
remember?
my eyes.
I was like, I think
I
do.
remember last. Yes.
Yeah, I was
yes.
like, I was like,
do.
I think I do not is the worst answer to that because it, was like, it could go either way.
What?
I think I do not. Oh,
I don't forget.
I don't.
I choose to not remember. Who would like to give a recap of the events of the last time we were here together?
My character was a freaking stud. That's what it was.
Whoa!
Asa had a war with an
With frog.
Another cobalt.
with frog.
That's right. That was so freaking good.
Yeah.
Coolin.
Well,
Just to
everyone was
clarify,
just
were you
standing
planning
by.
on that?
He invented
Well,
that character on the spot.
while we were so Frog, there was a chance. So Frog was an idea I had when I was planning, and then I was like, it'd be kind of funny because I felt like Asa's guy wasn't really doing a lot. Felt like he was just kind of walking around, so I was like, I want to give him something to do, so I decided to bring Frog back.
And
Oh,
bring
I
out
also-
a rivalry as old as time.
Yeah, so I had always intended for Frog to be Snog's rival, but it just like it was when I was planning. I was like, maybe I have Frog show up, but I threw that idea away. But then I don't know.
Then
And
he
then-
retreated
It felt like the
from
right time.
resentment.
But yeah, and then I just
Fair.
took Asa's stat block and gave him a rapier instead of daggers. So there you go.
Do you know what it kind of reminded me of?
What?
I know you said that they were planning on each other, but it kind of reminded me of that scene in Ford versus Ferrari when Matt Damon and Christian Bale started like wrestling on the ground, and they were like grabbing all the groceries that they had just dropped and like smacking each other with it. And Matt Damon
Bruh.
grabs a can of something like a can of beans, and he looks at it and he switches it out for a loaf of bread and starts beating him with a loaf of bread. It
That's
kind
a
of
good-
reminded me of that.
That's a good reference. That's a good reference.
I love that movie. Anyways, I'm sorry.
I think my favorite part of that movie is when is it Ford? It's the actual Ford gets in the car. He's like, I think I can handle it.
I can handle it.
He cries.
Yeah.
He just breaks
And-
down weeping.
And then he starts crying at the end. But
And fair enough. Like,
right,
Yeah, understandably
No.
so.
right.
It's just so
Not
funny
me.
that he's talking such a big game. He's like, I can handle this. And then you read it.
The name's Ford. I can do this.
Who do you think you are? I am.
And then he does clutch his heart, doesn't he? He's
Yeah.
like,
Like the entire drive, he's basically like just like arms extended. And then
whoa, baby!
Yeah, as soon as it stops, he goes.
Such a good movie.
right. All right.
So, last session we were commissioned by the Emperor to go collect this thing
Mhm.
from the island of.
Not the island. It's in the low.
The low. Because it's the marshlands.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Swamp of low.
And it was the
Swamp.
first time that many of us had been together.
Mhm.
But we set sail, we made our way there, and when we arrived, the people of this little hamlet or this little village were all very intrigued by our arrival. Each of us had our own little fanfare or flair of an entrance, and mine was by far the best. Saying. And then we each. I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm about
No
60%
reaction,
kidding.
Well, no, Logan, I didn't react because I know you're wrong. So no, I'm just kidding.
But we eventually made our way into town to where our contact was supposed to be after each of us kind of made an impression on the people. Apparently, they have a vested interest in the politics and the products of our little island. I'm still forgetting the name. What's our island called?
Forgoth.
Forgoth.
And so they have a vested interest in the technologies that we can offer. And they were particularly interested by Guardian and what he could do, or what it would look like if they had 5 of those to protect the town, right? And so with some Louis promised riches and wealth, we were able to kind of win them over a little bit. And then we made our way to our contact, who was the emissary. And he told us that we could get to where we were trying to go. We could either go like the main route or a separate route. And I forget where we decided to go.
So
We went the separate
Main
both.
route, right?
Yeah.
you ended up going. Let me pull up my note. So basically, you guys, he gave you the main route. He was like, "You're gonna go this way. This is the safest way. We've had it scouted out. People have been walking through there. You're good." But then you guys went out and explored around the city, where Callan, Logan's character, ran into one of the many espionage artists or spies in this place, right? Of which he told Callan that there is a very real possibility that people know they're here and they're trying to get to them, right? To which when Callan went back to the emissary to tell them that, the emissary was like, well, there's a second route that they probably couldn't track you as easily on that takes you down through the Mitfault, right? So, yeah, and then Bartholon spoke to Ogen, and Ogen had said, both routes are fine, but if you take the dangerous route, stay by the river. That was basically what he told him. As for the rest of you, Snog had a battle with his good friend Frog, and Isariel Amp fixed a coffee machine.
I did. I fixed it all by myself.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Fixed
right.
a coffee
I
machine
forgot
of his
about
own
that.
design.
I found a token too, right? Like
You
one
did.
of the
You found a
what was
ring.
it? It was a ring.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do
You
again?
didn't find it, you stole it.
I mean, tomato, tomato.
So the ring had a signet on it that was similar to the one that. So you saw 2 people wearing that signet. One of them was the guy that Callan talks to, but I don't think Snog saw that. And the other one was just another woman who never actually got it before you got it. So
yeah, I told Logan's character about it though.
Yeah, and
All
then he
right.
recognized it.
Okay.
I'm forgetting. I recognized it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
because you
you
used to
seen it
be
on
the
it.
head of that organization, right?
Right.
Or well, not that. Well, yeah,
Oh,
the dude that everyone reported
I think I
to.
was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to his more ascended state, you were what's called the Lord of Whispers, which is a guy who's in charge of espionage. His identity is secret, so you're not exactly certain who that is. But nonetheless, I'm not sure that we actually decided on a route to go. I feel like we left. We just ended.
Yeah.
By then, so if you guys would like, you can pull up the map, or I can stream the map.
The map. I'll pull it up.
We're actively leaving the castle right now. Is that where we are?
Yeah, you're actively leaving the embassy in Camden.
Can I can I sniff around? and see if I smell a sweet aroma of coffee in the air.
I don't even think you have to roll a check. I just think you do. You definitely smell coffee.
Okay. Can I sneak into the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wanna get a cup for myself.
All right. With not very much stealth necessary, as the ambassador or emissary has stayed back in the main area to get preparations, you get your cup of coffee.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't think I would have ever have like seen coffee before or anything like that. So I go to like sip it and then just kind of unhinge my jaw and throw it down my gullet.
you feel
How hot
funny.
is it?
Oh, okay. What kind
Go
of
ahead and roll a d20, and we'll see how hot
fire?
it is. 20 is super hot. 1 is cold.
Okay.
18 above, you have to roll a con save or take some
Okay.
bludgeoning damage.
All right, I'm rolling. My computer is acting a little slow. We'll see if that rolls
Lame.
for everybody. Oh, there it goes. Sorry, it took a second. So 7 is a high number good or bad?
What'd you roll?
A 17.
So with a 17, you knock it back, and it is. So we'll say average hot is 10, too hot is 15. Anything above 15 is like, there might be some damage from this. I might have some internal damage from this type of thing. But anyhow, so we have a couple of routes on the map here. You guys are in Camden currently. You can go. So you go straight out about to the hills, and then you can go into the Overgiven and then into the Low. If you go that route, that is the main route that is presumably the safest. It keeps you out of what was termed by the emissary as Owlbear, like an Owlbear's territory. It keeps you outside of it. The second route that whoever's tracking you would not know about takes you south of that hill into the Mitfault, and then you would probably have to hop on a riverboat to travel the rest of the way up into the Low. The time ends up being about 6s because of the use of the riverboat and having to traverse through the swamp alone, basically. So those are your two choices.
Should I should I roll that D4 now or
A fire damage? You don't have to take fire damage, but if you want to, go ahead and roll a d4.
Ace is like, can I please take fire damage?
Can I
He's like,
please?
excuse me, could I please get harmed?
DM, this is unrealistic as I am not taking fire damage from the coffee I just
I'm
drank.
getting hurt.
I'm getting hurt. You'll hear like a small like bark, kind of like like you hear like a yip from a dog. You'll hear that from the kitchen. I take 1 point.
We will do nothing.
That's something that.
No, see,
That's probably one of the many noises you heard in the fight of Frog and Snog. Is you hear just a bunch of sounds like that.
Cool.
Dog.
And you'll see me rejoin the party in a few minutes.
Your tongue out. So Bartholon, when you prayed to Ojin, the guidance that you felt the most, or like, it wasn't that Ojin directly spoke to you, but what you felt in terms of what you wanted to do was either path is fine, but if you go the southern path, stick to the river. Just stay with the river.
Yeah, I think I feel like obviously I would convey that to the party, but
right. And so for Isariel, Snog, maybe not necessarily. You're not in Forgoth very much, so you might only know Bartholon Station by description. Callan and Isariel, you both know Bartholon as he's basically the living prophet, so of Ojin. So you would know that if he says I believe this is the direction Ojin would have us go. That would be the direction you'd go. But I guess, again, this was more of a passive response. Not a pointing, but just a, if you take this way, do this.
Yeah, so basically, Bartholon's only going to have a not like a strict, but like a more intense suggestion on where to go if we decide to go through the Mitfault, because then that's when he's going to be like, all right, let's stick by the river, because that's what Ojin says. But before that, he's going to be kind of, it doesn't really matter where we go.
Once you say river, Snog's gonna be like, with his tongue out, oh, yeah, the river sounds good.
We'll see a couple blisters on his tongue.
So that's two. That's a vote on the river and a soft vote on that way. What would the other two like to do? Callan, Asariel?
I believe it would be beneficial for us to go to the river. Yes.
I agree. I think that is the way that we should go.
Then let us commence, brethren. And Khaled will stride towards the river.
Yes, sir.
You guys exit out the back door of the emissary. He points you in the general direction, marks your guys' map for the path that you should be taking, and then he explains another thing. He says, the Mitfault is very chaotic. It is ruled by two different governing bodies. Forgothian influence is not very strong there. I would urge you to stop traveling when it becomes dusk. Do not move any further once the sun begins to set. And do not leave until the sun begins to rise.
What happens at night?
The Mitfault is active in the evening. There are two governing bodies. One of them is active during the day, and the other is active during the night. The one during the day is much more friendly to travelers than the one during the night.
I see. So would it be in our interest to find a place to hide?
It could be wise. The things there that arise in the night are nocturnal. They have better vision in the darkness than most things in the day do. They would probably be able to find you if they were looking for you, if you give them a reason to want to find you. Just do not continue traveling when that faction arises. That is my advice.
Very well.
So it would be wise to keep a watchful eye.
Is this something that... dang, I'm going into Declan. Is this something that we should perhaps snuffle a light from, or...
It might not be a bad idea to keep your lights out. But as long as you are in the Mitfault, once you get on the river, things should be safer, as you'll be on a boat and permitted traveling. Many travel from the Woned Shell into the Low. You will not be alone in the journey, but you will be safer than out in the wilderness.
That is fair.
Just out of curiosity, based on what you understand about Callan, Logan, do you think he's one to shy away from a challenge?
No, but given the stakes, I think he will want to be as strategic about the battles he faces as possible.
All right. The only reason I say this is that something that I think would strike Callan is that the Mitfault and Myolith in particular do not have a strong Forgothian presence. I
would want a strong Forgothian presence.
You would want a strong Forgothian presence, and the reason there isn't is because the diplomat who was sent to the Myolith is not as strong-willed as the current rulers of the Mylith. That's at least what you would. It's like a trick of the trade, right? If your will is strong as a diplomat, then it's a lot easier to sway the rulership. I guess the reason I ask is I question if Callan would be inclined to communicate with people to attempt and sway the Mylith in Forgoth's favor.
And the
You don't
Mylith would be
have
the
to do
group
that,
that
but
rules at night.
so Mylith is the city. There's a capital city of the Mitfault, and that's where the ruling class exists.
Okay.
The most, rather.
And
Uh,
can I see the map? How do I find the map?
You
So
could
the
go to
map-
twitch.tv/security denied.
in the Discord as well, at the top, there's a thread. Is it a thread? Yeah. Oh, at the very top, I've just sent the map as the second message in the chat.
In the Arahim Chronicles chat.
In Arahim Chronicles, yeah.
It's also pinned within the Arahim Chronicles.
So basically, Logan, you should have already found it by now, and you're throwing. No, I'm just kidding.
My bad.
I'm joking.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We're joking.
How
But not
could I
really.
make fun of the person who had the best entrance, Logan? I can't.
We are in.
Camden.
We're on the far right side of the map.
Yes, you are in Camden of Udrend, which is the sister continent.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So, see that hill, those hills to the east of Camden?
Yes.
You would basically be going there, and then from there your path branches. You either go straight into the low, or up toward the Overgiven and into the low, or you go down into the Mitfault toward the river. And you guys have chosen to go down into the Mitfault toward the river.
Okay.
You would also know that the daytime ruling people of Mylith are wood elves.
Oh.
Does that make a difference in their political viewpoint?
Yes, so Forgoth is high elves. It's about the only high elven kingdom that exists in Arahim that is as powerful and as developed. There are other sub kingdoms that exist in Renora, and Ducia has a strong high elven population, but none of them are as successful or as prosperous as Forgoth.
Okay.
So
Okay. So I guess, and it's the people of Mylith that I want to coerce into.
it would be, I think, rather, I'm just what my intent is to make you aware of an inclination in Callan to basically dictate and get Mylith to be on the Forgothian side. You know they've been an ally before, and they have also swayed the other direction, but it would be quite a bit out of the way to get over there to visit with them, and you would be straying away from the stick with the river thing.
Do you remember what we called my magical artifact?
I don't remember. I don't remember what it was called right now.
We call it like the diadem of intellect or something like that.
So
Is that over by Mylith?
So the artifact you're after is in the low. You've tracked it to be in the low somewhere. You're not exactly certain where, but it's in there.
And it's
you
possible that the people in Mylith might have a better idea since they live so close.
It could be possible. You, based on what you've read and what you've come to understand, the item that you are looking for is in the heart of the low, right? Which would make you believe that it's near the center. The item was hidden away, though. They did not want, whoever used it last didn't want other people to use it. And you just know that it's in the low, probably near the center. Your only contact you were authorized by the Emperor was the emissary in Camden. Everything else you're doing is going to be by your own volition, own will, own authority. The Emperor has not had somebody in Mylith waiting for you to give you any information on it.
Okay. So with all this in mind, I'll say to the party, my friends and countrymen, I believe it could be advantageous for us to establish relations with the people of Mylith. What would you say if we went far south, crossed beneath the river, so that we are on the eastern side of the river, and while we make camp on our first night, perhaps we travel to Mylith, so that we can A, not interfere with those who rule at night, and B, establish those relations, so that one day we might find an ally in the people, of Mylith.
Before Bartholon gives his answer, can I ask a couple clarifying questions, DM?
Yeah.
One, what is the, like, kind of similar to the political standing? What is the religious standing of?
So the Mylith is a little more chaotic. They don't have an established religious like they basically worship more of the pantheon as a whole than they worship any singular god, right? Forgoth is more inclined to worship Ojin.
We've got a whole bunch of pagans.
Right.
Sorry.
But in the Mylith, they look at the pantheon as a whole, and they are kind of like, this is the people there are too unpredictable to be, because some of them literally are different at night, or it doesn't even matter what rules and legislation they make at night or in the day, because at night it's completely different.
So is it
So-
almost like ancient Greece, where they're like, we believe all the gods have different jobs
Yes.
and duties, and they're like, we believe in each of them?
Yes, and you also, to some extent, believe in that, but the reality is that Ojin governs more of the life in Forgoth than a typical god would. So everyone gives praises to Kor in some way or another, but it is more important for the people of Forgoth to praise Ojin, as he
'Cause
he
they're
is the
surrounded
most
by the
active
water.
hand, right?
Mhm.
And he has people there who he's willing to give them aid through, right? So that's kind of the idea.
And then the other question that I had was, our journey into the low. Remind me if it was it kind of time sensitive, or
So the only time sensitivity there would be is if Callan wanted to get there faster. You guys have however much time to travel as Callan gives you. The only time sensitive thing is that the Emperor might worry that he has lost 5 or 4 of the most powerful people in Forgoth to the woods if they don't make contact with somebody at some point.
right? Okay, well, with all of that in mind, I'm gonna respond, or Bartholon's gonna respond to Callan by saying, I do believe that the chaotic nature of the Myeleth is indeed grounds for some type of intervention. However, Ojin has told me that if we are to travel through the Midfault, that we are to stay by the river so that he can protect us. And so
Indeed.
I am afraid that if you are to go to the Myeleth, I cannot accompany.
Indeed, he did say that. But look around. Are we not powerful people? Whatever challenges we might face, surely we could vanquish them without too much of an issue. I believe this would be advantageous, not only in our adventure into the low we might find information, but we could also establish good contacts that could strengthen Forgoth as a whole. Do you not see how good that could be for our nation?
No, do not get me wrong. I do see. However, while I am, as you said, and each one of us are very powerful beings, I have not the foresight of a god. Odin does, and he says that we shall stay by the Midfault if we were to choose this path. And I fear that if we do not abide by the foresight of a god, then harm could befall every single one of us. Harms that not even we are powerful enough to combat.
And you'll see him kind of like scoff his or roll his eyes as you say, like, even we might not be powerful enough. Like, look at us, right? And then
And
he'll
as
say,
you say that, you're gonna notice Sariel in the corner being all Deku-like in My Hero, just mumbling to himself, just like adding all the pros and cons, just like, oh, do we go this way? Do we go that way? Who's right? Who's
writing in
wrong?
his notebook.
What is the probability of us making it to the destination?
but if Mylith does this, then we'll have to do this. Yeah.
That's pretty much what he's doing.
My character, he'll speak up. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to remember his accent.
Wasn't it like a Boston accent or something?
It was
No, it was
Boston.
kind of like a
That's
sneering
it.
kind of.
He was he was just a little lizard-like. I guess I don't know.
Just a little lizard-like. Just a little
We'll go with
lizard-like.
that for now. I thought we were just supposed to get this artifact. What is this about talking to people?
Well, where do artifacts come from, my friend?
Hey,
They come from the chicken, of course. The chicken and then the artifact.
From old places, so we need to go to the old places.
Well, the people in Myolith probably know more about these old places than we do. So they could help us find more artifacts. We could find all manner of riches and power, all
Riches and
through the
power?
knowledge they give us.
Okay.
Here is my proposal. After he's done thinking and snaps out of it, my proposal is this. What if we accomplish our main goal and retrieve the artifact first? And then on our way back, we can then stop by the city of Mylith and receive information and establish our presence. That way we're not wasting time in finding the artifact that we came here for, and we can also achieve both of our goals. And while achieving our main objective, it will also give us a better idea of what we need to do with our quest. Whether that is return home immediately, or if we have time for Mylith.
And Callum will look down consideringly, and then he'll look to Mr. Savarog. I'm forgetting your name.
Bartholon.
Chase.
Bartholon, thank you. Yes. And then he'll kind of raise an eyebrow and he'll say, "That would be amenable to me, but I cannot lead where my men will not follow. Would you follow me in that plan?"
Can I?
Follow you. You're paying me by the day.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I give? Can I give some insight onto how Ojin feels about because he was saying to
Yes.
follow the Mitfault there. Is he saying to also follow the Mitfault back?
So we'll visit that in just 1 second. I have a couple of rolls I need Snog to make. I also
Death
like
save.
that Snog is like he's like, I don't care what we do, I'm Owly. He's just like, so Snog, I want you to roll first a history check, and second a survival check. The survival check is just how much in-depth knowledge about the map you have. The history check is about the location of these old things in the low.
Yeah, it's a 14 for the history check.
Mm-hmm.
Then survival check.
Or nature, whichever one you would rather do, survival or nature.
Survival, do survival. 31.
Okay. So with your survival check, Snug, you're looking at the map and you're trying to assess the exact situation and time, right? Again, Snug's hourly. If Snug has to be here for 10 days, Snug gets the pay of 10 days. And the rate offered to him by Callan is a pretty good rate. It's the equivalent of almost like probably pretty close to a platinum, like half a platinum a day is basically the rate that you've been offered. So Snog, like if they're saying that it's going to take 10 days instead of 6 days, that sounds good to you, right? The thing I will say is that upon investigating the map, it'll take you at least 2 days to get all the way to Mylith. And then from Mylith, it'll probably at least take you another day traveling upon the river into the low. If you had taken the main route, it would take you a day to get to Overgiven and a day to get to the center of the low, albeit survival checks permitting.
Sure.
If we didn't roll like bad survivals on our way through the low. The route you're taking now is longer but safer in terms of traversing the low itself. The other trip is shorter but safer in total.
The longer trip, the one that we're taking right now, is that a more direct path to Mylith?
So the way that you would be doing it is as Callan had suggested at first. I know the plan has possibly changed a little bit, but if you went straight from Camden down into the Mitfault to Mylith, that would take at minimum 2 days. Okay, especially where you can't travel into dusk or dawn. You have to wait for the sun to rise, and you have to stop when it starts setting. Once you're in Mylith, it would take you a little bit longer to get up into the low, and then a day to traverse the low, basically. Getting you right into the center wouldn't be a big issue. You'd just be on a boat, basically. The first path was the most direct path into the low. The other thing I'll say is with the second path, the time constraint is still there. The only difference is that on your way back, you would be stopping by Mylith. So it might add an additional day. So if you travel just to the river, hop on the boat and into the low, it'll take you about 2 days to get into the low. And then getting to the center would probably be half a day. So we're talking 2.5 that way. If you go to Mylith and up into the low from there, you're looking at probably about 5 days in total. The original route would have been 2 days flat. Barring survival checks in the low itself. As you guys, again, you guys wouldn't be traversing the rivers. You'd be just marching through the jungled swamp, basically. As for your history check, you said you rolled a 14 on that?
Yeah.
As for your history check, Snog has been to Golan before, a couple times. Snog is pretty familiar with the north side of the low. And he's also familiar with a lot of the legends about the low. It is said that one of... Let me hurry and pull up my master document to make sure my names are right. So, in the very beginning, right,
What's the word?
you have... in the beginning, you have the 10 dragons, right? When Altor left Primordia, the kingdom of the gods, he took the 5 chromatic dragons with him.
Right.
Out of all of the dragons, it is said that the fiercest and most powerful was Yolru, the Black. Yolru was the black dragon. He was the most loyal, the most evil, and the most frightening of all of his generals, right?
Right.
It is said that at the time before Altor was banished to the Nine Hells as Aesildur, he instead allowed Yolru a retirement where he would be safe and no longer have to fight. It is said that Yolru found his final resting place in the Low, or in the area that once was the Low. Nobody has ever seen a black dragon there. Nobody has ever seen black dragon signs, but it is thought that that is where he went. You think that if you're looking for anything magical in the Low, or even in that portion of Udrund alone, it's going to be wherever his den would be. And luckily for you, because of your survival instincts, you're pretty familiar with dragon dens and signs of dragon dens. You've pillaged and gone through a couple in your own time, albeit empty ones.
Sure. And Logan, or I guess Callan, he hasn't told us what the artifact is that we're searching for, has he?
Though I kind of forget the name of it. It's
You wanna-
the Diadem of Intellect. I think
Hmm.
we're gonna stick with that name.
Okay.
And I explained to you guys that it's like, you know how like gauntlets of hill giant strength will bolster your physical strength?
Yeah,
This is like a circlet that does the same thing for your
Hmm.
mind.
that's
It'll make
right.
you able to think
Oh.
through any problem or boost your
That's
intellect to like
right.
22.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay.
No.
Well, Payson, do I
Yes.
see signs of a dragon den more towards going toward the river or the main path? I guess it's
So-
in the low, and we haven't gotten there yet.
Right, so the sign, so really the thing that you guys are debating, you guys are going to take the southern route, it sounds like. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we've decided on, so that's the,
Yeah.
so you're already en route to the southern route toward the river. What we're debating is if we're going to stop in Mylith, or if we're going to just go straight to the river.
Cool. And going to Mylith will take longer, right?
It'll
extra
take
day.
longer.
Yeah.
Isariel had said that you could hit Mylith after the low, and if you hit it after the low, you still have that extra day advantage.
Mhm. And like Isariel was saying that like depending on what we find in the low will depend on our choices after.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna really. I don't know if I really have an opinion of what we do first.
Yeah.
I'll just say Mylith sounds like a great idea. Let's try to hit that. And I'll look out, and I guess I'll just look out for dragon signs.
Right.
Two ideas. That's a great idea.
Great
I
idea.
think the only thing that I would say that maybe Snog would also recognize is that Callan had talked about going to the Mylith to possibly find more information about the
Let's
low.
see.
That's your job here. That's why he initially hired you, is
Hmm.
because you know magical artifacts. He doesn't, according to that, you know the direction you would need to go and what to look
Okay.
for in the low.
He's my friend, so I'll probably go up to Callan and say, I know you want to create good relations with the people in Mylith, but I am pretty sure I can lead us to the artifact you're looking for. So if that sways you one way or the other, I can probably do a good job to leading us to this artifact.
And see it done.
Okay, sorry. That was a long-winded two rolls.
Oh, good.
So
I think we
so
get the idea.
Bartholon, so you wanted to see the insight of Ojin on the idea of going to the Mylith after you retrieve the artifact. Go ahead and roll me just a religion check. Do so at advantage.
I'm gonna do it with these dice, and not my Declan dice.
You should do it with Jenny.
Whoa. I don't want to know who you're doing it with.
How is that happening?
Science.
Wow. Or. Uh-oh.
Oh no. It has begun.
All right.
No.
You said at advantage.
No.
Well,
That's
thank goodness, because that's
No. Falcor!
No.
Atreyu.
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
Thank you for the
Gar.
advantage because my first was a 1 and my second was a 17. So 17 plus religion 8. That's 25.
So, as you, in your mind, basically,
In my
I don't know
mind
if you
palace.
drop to your knees or if you just think about it. We'll just say you think about it. You you question this plan's design in Ojin's eyes. And Ojin doesn't directly. Again, it's like it's more of like a feeling. You feel that Ojin would direct you in the way uh, of that. If you are going to go to Mylith, that is the way he would prefer you to do it. Take the river into the low. Once the objective is complete, do whatever you want.
But so I can't tell if he would rather me go to the Mylith
Yeah,
or not go to the Mylith.
He's
After the fact,
basically
yeah.
he's not impeding on your own will to go to the Mylith or not. So if you want to go to the Mylith, that's up to you.
Okay.
But if you do choose to go to Mylith, he wants you to take the river into the low first.
Okay. Then, so in response to Callan asking, like, essentially, are you guys behind me in this plan? Bartholon will just respond, I do not believe I am neither for nor against this plan, as I do not have any strong insight from Ojin about which way to go. However, I do feel confident that Ojin says that if we are to go to the Mylith, going after our main objective is complete is the correct way of doing so. So I will leave it to the party, but I will only be going to the Mylith if everyone else is going and if they are going after we get the artifact.
And I told you what I could offer, so that's.
So, our final consensus. Are we going to go with Isariel's idea? Are we going to go to Mylith first? Or are we going to just forget Mylith altogether and go through the Midfault?
I think we're going with Asariel's plan.
I mean,
We're
going with
my plan, brother.
yeah, as a player, I want to go to the Asariel's plan, but I think as a character, I will do whatever Callan wants to do.
Okay.
And I'm down to go to the low first and then visit
Yeah,
the Mylith after.
both as a
Oh.
player and a character, I want to go with
Poggers.
Asariel's plan.
As a player, I would like to go with my own plan.
Shut up.
As a DM, I dislike my plan.
As a DM, session's over.
Logan, here's my notes. You take over.
Good luck.
So,
brother.
Oh, gosh.
so we're gonna do that.
Bad idea.
So you guys are going to travel, and on the first, you guys notice throughout your travels, these trees are kind of weird. They're unlike any tree you've ever seen. The only thing that might ever resemble these trees are things that that are in ancient elvish songs and poetry that resemble a time and vegetation that no longer exists. The Midfault is full of just these weird, almost alien vegetation types.
The truffula trees.
The truffula tree. But as you guys travel, the sun slowly begins to go down, and you notice that you probably have about an hour before the sun fully sets.
Let's find a place to hide.
Agreed.
So what we'll say is we need to have watches for the evening. So we'll say that you guys find a kind of a divot in the hills, and you go right into that divot surrounded by trees and build your camp in there. You guys have until the sun sets to have your fire lit. By the time the sun sets, it should be out. And you should be preventing the smoke from going into the sky. Following that, how would we like to split up our watches for this first?
Guardian, you go first.
Of course.
Guardian, since you don't need sleep, you should be the watch for the entire night.
I was gonna ask. Can I use my divine intervention to see if I can get him to overlook the camp while we're asleep, and then I'll get it again after our long rest that we're about to take right now.
So you want to ask Ojin to look over your camp?
Yeah, make sure
For
that,
one night.
make sure that- yeah, because I get divine intervention again after a long rest.
I mean, there's no harm in asking.
Right.
It is technically within the rules.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
most
will
likely-
say divine intervention never works.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm most likely not gonna do it. It's a
Yeah,
D100,
go-
and it's like a 10% chance I'll hit it. So
Yeah, go ahead and roll it, and if it works, well, there
You'll
you
have
go.
a god watching over
Well,
us.
then this
Right.
next random encounter is not going to happen.
I know. We
We'll just
wake
see a
up
bunch
and
of
everything's
lightning
wet.
strike a few hundred meters away from us.
wait, so
Vecna shows up. Oh, dang it, there's a
Yeah.
god. I'm leaving. And then he leaves.
okay, if your roll is equal to or less than 15, your deity intervenes. I got a 15.
As you ask for Ojin's watchful eye to look over your camp as you sleep, you guys prepare to go to bed.
I think I'll want
And
to do a watch.
Storm.
Even
What's
if
that?
Guardian,
You wanna
Guardian
do what?
is, yeah, I'll still probably do like the third or fourth watch.
All right. Yeah, it's perfectly fine if you guys want to do a watch, or you can entrust it all to Guardian.
yeah, I was like, I'm just.
But you also have.
I'm gonna put
Ojin.
Ojin as my watch at least.
But you see that as the sun begins to set, the moon's light begins to shimmer over the Mitfald. But that is interrupted as storm clouds roll in over the moonlight. And the only flashes of light you get throughout the evening are lightning and storm. Rain begins to fall on the Mitfald. This is Ojin's presence at this time. We're going
Why are my pants cold and wet?
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
Bruh, wait a second. What's that from?
That's from the Lego movie.
You broke him.
Okay,
I broke
sorry.
him.
Sorry. Good.
I'm sorry, mate.
It's such a simple thing.
It's just so stupid.
It's so simple.
It's just the fact that it broke you so much.
It got me because
Okay.
I for whatever reason I looked right at Caleb's camera the second he said that.
So-
I just
so did
looked
I.
Caleb in the eyes right as he goes, "Wow, are my parents cold and wet."
Dang it. Okay.
Oh, days.
So how long does Snog want to be up around with Guardian? Like, at what point in the night is he gonna end up waking up to also watch?
I think he's a little curious about the Watchers, so he'll probably ask Guardian to wake him up during the second shift,
Okay.
and he'll just.
So we
Do that.
proceed through the night. As you guys go to bed, Guardian holds, he basically puts a canvas on his arms and holds it over you guys. And he just sits there like that and then continuously looks around. His eyes dim so that they're not shining direct light out. But then Snog, after the first quarter of the night, so probably around midnight, you get violently you've violently shaken to awareness when Guardian goes, "Wake up, small lizard! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!"
small lizard.
I'm awake.
Just can I interrupt real quick and just to make sure that I didn't goof my divine intervention? The percentage dice, I got that 10 and that 5. Is that correct? Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if that was 15 or 50.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The number you showed me was a 2, but if that was a 5 initially,
that's why.
Oh, okay.
2 and
I
then
see.
5.
Oh, okay.
They're right next to each other.
But yeah, so Snog, when you wake up, it is still storming. It's not like It's not like the diagonal, it's just rain that is dropping straight down, and it's a lot of it. You wake up, and you also begin your partial watch alongside Guardian.
So I
Is
think,
there anything in particular you were trying to see?
yeah, so I think they said like don't travel during the night, but I kind of want to walk around camp, kind of in the brush. Since I'm smaller, I can kind of hide and kind of
Yeah.
slither around in the forest. And I kind of
Alright.
want to just kind of like do a perimeter, kind of walk the
Yeah.
perimeter, kind of maybe 50, 30, 50 yards out.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a stealth,
Okay.
and we'll say an investigation.
Okay. Open this up. Um. Okay. Stealth. Let's do that first. Stealth is 29.
Alright.
Investigation.
Effectively sneaky.
Effectively lizard in the
And
storm.
18 for investigation.
Lizard went
So-
chameleon mode.
You sneak around. At some point in the night, you do hear some movement. It sounds like a heavy hum, and then you also hear footsteps. As you approach, did you want to approach those to see what it is, or do you want to just stay hidden?
If
You
I
would have
can
to leave the
maintain-
perimeter.
Right. If I can maintain my stealth, I'd like to go see what it is.
All right. So you writhe through the bushes until you see it. Do you have dark vision, by the way?
Let's check. I feel like kobolds have dark vision, but let me make sure.
I feel like you do too. But we should just be sure, because this is a little. It's a little
me
bit
just-
of a.
Let me just look it up.
Just in case
Let
it
me
helps,
check your
I
character
don't.
sheet. Yeah,
I have 10. I'm a bugbear, so I got long arms, though. Do you want me to?
I have hot dog.
Asa, do you want me to reach out and feel what's in front of you? I can do it because I have 10 feet
Okay.
long arms.
Kobold dragon, they possess blind sense, dark vision, and low light vision.
Rad. Yeah, I see dark vision.
And actually, I think
dark vision up to 60 feet, so it's
I think-
actually pretty good.
right, and I think I do have blind sense. That comes with my class.
Okay.
That's wild.
So as you begin to approach and you get within the 60 feet, you notice what would be thrycreen. They are insectoid people. That heavy hum is a large Hercules beetle. Thrycreen has a large horn, and it's its wings beating as it hovers just above the tree line. You see they're holding weapons, and you notice that your dark vision of 60 feet is actually a very good thing, because Thrycreen have developed an innate ability for psychic communication, telepathy, because their mouths are not equipped with the right ability to speak. Had you gotten within 30 feet of them, which is, I think, the typical, if you take the dark vision feat, you have 30 feet of dark vision,
Right.
they would have picked up on your presence as they would have been in your mind, basically.
Right.
It's really difficult to sneak up on these guys.
Huh.
But you
Go
peer
slow.
in, and you see the Thrycreen slowly making their way through the woods. And you just hear a bunch of like as they're communicating with each other in this insectoid way.
Cool. Okay.
They are armed as well.
Yeah, so I can assume that this is the group that watches the night.
This is a part of it, yes.
A part of it, yeah. Huh. But they seem like they're just kind of on patrol. They're not really.
It
Oh,
seems
okay.
like so they have a Hercules beetle, and they have these other insectoid peoples. It seems that they're transporting something. Like the Hercules beetle has a pack on him that is very large. The reason he is hovering is because it's easier for him to fly with that weight than it is for him to walk with that weight.
There's no like. Can I tell what he's transporting, or is it like tarped over?
It's in a leather or canvas
Right.
bag.
Okay.
that is hanging on him.
And is it possible to communicate with the Thrycreen? Like
It's possible if you enter that 30-foot range of them.
Okay.
So basically, I think it is like what would end up happening. So I think they have to see you, and you have to be within 30 feet. I think that's the rule. If you walk within the 30 feet of them, you can choose to enter the conversation in your mind if they don't see you, right? So you're still hidden as long as they can't see you. But if they see you, then they can, communicate.
Get close enough to communicate.
Right. So they can listen, like you can listen in if you get close enough, but they have pretty good perception. So you'd have to roll. We'd just say as you're trying to get closer, you have to roll another stealth, if that's what you wanted to do.
I'll do that.
You could also just roll a perception check to see if you can assess what exactly is in the bag.
Right.
Also, how many hours has it been since we all went to sleep?
It's been probably about 2 hours. 2,
Okay.
3 hours.
I watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I only need like 4 hours of
Yeah.
trance-like meditation before I get the full 8 hours of
Yeah, so
long
at
rest.
the end of this second watch, basically, that's when you'll have your 4 hours.
Okay.
If you're elvish.
I you up if you kind of wanted to communicate with that with me.
You want to communicate
Unless
with them?
automatically. Oh, I was like, I can wake you up after 4 hours.
Oh
But
no,
unless
I already just wake up because I don't need sleep.
Okay.
I just have
Sure.
4 hours of
You
meditation
just wake
sleep.
up naturally,
Yeah.
basically.
Cool.
You just like,
Yeah, I just wake up.
evening.
So I think I'll approach like very slowly and stealthily, so I could try to listen into their conversation. But I like knowing that they can like pick up on psychic presence. I'll only come with very like kind of pure intentions, like oh I just want to talk. I don't want to like
All right.
just kind of like I want to come. I'm here to trade.
Okay.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
You approach them. Go ahead and roll your stealth to remain hidden, so they can't see you directly.
Yeah.
You want to be a 22.
Sheesh.
24.
Nice.
24. So you approach stealthily, and you enter kind of their psychic range, but they still don't know. You have learned to quiet your mind in a way that they cannot directly pick up on your presence, lest you start communicating with them. And you start to hear kind of what they're saying. The ground soldiers are communicating with each other, and they're saying that they only have a couple more hours of travel left until they get to the burrow. And the big guy is saying that he doesn't know if he has 2 hours of flight left in him,
Oh,
basically.
he's tired.
I'm getting sleepy.
Now's your chance.
Are they? Can I get the sense that they kind of want to keep moving because it's dangerous out?
I think that's definitely the sense. They're still moving because it seems to be they want to get there quick because there are dangers in the mid-fault.
Right. I think I'll reach out very kind of like calmly, like don't be afraid. I was passing by because we have oh yeah, sorry, I should we have a oh my gosh. I can do my
We have
accent
a
so
home.
well last time. I can't do it this time. We have a camp nearby. Don't be alarmed. I can tell that you are tired. Please come and rest with us.
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid.
You see, so there's 2 insectoid foot soldiers. You see one looks a little bit like a praying mantis, and the other one like a grasshopper. You see the grasshopper one like hops backwards and kind of hops away from the direction you spoke, as the praying mantis one kind of stances up. And you hear them go, "Who is that? Where are you? Show yourself."
I'll come out and kind of slither out a little bit. Be like, you have no need to worry. I am small. I am simply me and my party are simply trying to traverse this
Not nice.
this forest. We were told not to travel in the dark, so we have set up camp. If you want to join us, you can feel free. It's These nights can be dangerous.
It was good knowing you, Snog.
Praying mantises eat lizards.
Yeah.
The praying mantis, you see it cocks its head sideways and turns one of its large bulbous eyes in your direction, and it goes, "We do not need to stop. We need to get to our destination. But you are correct, it is dangerous out here, and it's wise for you to stay hidden. I would go back to your camp yourself. We are equipped to travel this midfault."
That's not what the big one said. But if you're sure you can make the journey, good luck to you all. Let's see. I want to know what's just in my inventory really quick.
Go ahead and roll a perception.
Okay, I'll do that.
Do it. Do it.
16.
My
With that
grandmother.
16, you notice that the burlap sack or the leather bag that this large beetle is carrying is moving. It seems that there's something living in it. And on top of that perception, I'm just going to lump a little bit of an insight in with it. You get the feeling that these guys, like, the chance that they've offered you to go back to your camp is the only chance they're willing to give you. Other than that, they seem to be transporting something suspicious.
Makes sense. I was wondering what they were transporting. So it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
How strong do these guys look?
Oh no.
Well, you with 2/3 of your health left,
Yeah.
they're probably looking. I mean, like, the 2-foot soldiers you probably could take on alone, but that Hercules beetle, that guy looks like
He'll
quite
decimate him.
the problem. Maybe you could have taken 2, but just the one is but all 3, that's
Wait, so
a tougher sell.
there are 3. There's the Hercules beetle, the praying mantis, and what's the third one?
The grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
So how's
yummy
that?
grasshopper.
How's that leather pouch strapped on to? Is it just kind of tied together with a rope?
Yeah, it's like around his shoulders, like a backpack. It's tied at the end and tied at the other end and put on.
Like
Okay.
a Garagord.
Okay. I will say, thank you for your permission to leave. You travel safe through the forest, and I'll sneak back into the woods.
All right. Go ahead and just roll me a quick history check as you're kind of leaving.
I never said I was like leaving.
But as you slither back into the
Yeah,
woods.
16 for history.
16. Let me hurry and roll something.
Pretty good for me.
So, as you go back into the woods, you swear there was like a familiar scent about the air as you were in this area.
Like coming from the package?
Just as you were in this area, you're uncertain as to what it is, but you have been near this area before. It might just be something in your memory like that.
Okay. Can I try to sneak back into the forest? Sorry guys, I'm taking this a long watch. Please forgive me.
No.
Hey, it's fine.
No,
Okay.
you do you, lad.
You're about to get in your third initiative. First was with Frog, second was with a hot coffee pot, and now your third is with a bunch of bugs.
Yeah, I want to sneak out to kind of like 45 meters away, or is it feet? Let me see how this works. The range is in feet, right? Yeah, so 45 feet away, kind of right outside their telecommunication.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hide, I want to throw one of my daggers and try to cut the rope.
All right.
Wow.
So go ahead and roll a third stealth.
Yeah.
And then
I want to roll the stealth before I do any of this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there it
A
is.
sneak attack.
I only rolled a 20 that time, but I'm
Alright.
45 feet away.
All right. And you're gonna toss a dagger to him. Adam?
Yeah, and try to cut the rope. It should be
Alright.
within my range.
So, yeah, go ahead and roll to hit. We're going to use the Hercules Beetle's AC
Okay.
as the means you have to break to actually hit this.
Right.
If you exceed the Hercules Beetle's AC by, let's say 2 or more, you hit only the rope. Because of the angle at which you are and how close it is to his body. If you only meet or exceed it by 1, you hit the Hercules Beetle and the rope. If
Okay.
you do not hit,
Okay,
if
I'm
you
gonna
don't
roll
meet
with
it,
my
you
good
don't meet it
dice.
at all.
This is an important roll. Okay.
Give me just a second.
If I
to pull
wake
the
up and there's a
stat bar.
Hercules beetle standing outside of our hut,
Dude, I thought it'd be so cool
Hey,
if they
listen.
rested with our party. That would have been awesome.
We have Poseidon on our side. We're okay.
no.
That Hercules beetle even thinks about it, bro, and he's
You only
getting the
asked him to
electric
watch.
chair.
You didn't ask him. You only asked him to watch, not to intervene.
Yeah,
A
since I'm
divine
hidden,
intervention, brother.
do I get advantage on the attack since I'm hidden?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
I guess technically that would count as.
Okay.
Would that proc your sneak attack?
It would.
Oh no.
I mean, I don't want to hurt the beetle. I just kind of want to. Actually, maybe I do. No.
No.
I just want to
Okay.
free whatever in that pouch.
All right.
My meditative rants. No.
No, don't hurt the beetle.
Stop it, brother.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to use my green one. I'm a
Alright.
little sparkly one.
All
Okay,
right.
here. You guys ready for this?
No.
So frickin' ready.
Ooh, that's a 5
Uh-huh.
and
16.
16. Can't really see
16?
very well. 16.
All right.
So, all right. Let's go over here to the plus 11. So that is 27.
All right. So you've exceeded the Hercules Beetle's AC by more than 2. You see, dagger flies through, gently goes between the beetle's carapace that is currently open for his wings to flutter out, and it hits the rope. You see that the bag swings off of his shoulder upside down as the bag empties, and you see something drop and hit the ground. It lets out a and then escapes into the woods. Boom!
Watch me
Immediately.
frog.
The beetles and the bugs immediately start to freak out. They're like, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" And one of your daggers, you have a feat, right, that allows the weapons to come back to your hand.
Yeah.
All right, so, you know what? I'm just gonna say. So right now, the weapon flings back into your hand. They don't even get a chance to investigate what happened. They just see it hit the ground and flutter off. See, the Hercules beetle closes his wings and just hits the ground right where the bag is, and he starts to stomp into the woods.
After the fleeing creature.
Yep.
I should have asked because when you said that familiar scent, I was going to ask. I just forgot. Did it smell like frog?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Oh
Perhaps.
no!
I want to go after him.
As you begin to chase after, you see the Hercules beetle is still. We're gonna maintain your stealth roll you'd gotten at the 20.
I kind of want to maintain that distance, but kind of
Right.
keep parallel with them.
Yep. You keep parallel with the Hercules beetle, and the Hercules beetle stops and looks around. Whatever it was that has fled from him was faster than the Hercules beetle, and had enough of a head start that it's evaded his tracking ability.
Okay.
It's gotten too far.
Am I able to track it?
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and you're gonna roll a. What is it? Let me hurry and pull up this. What we'll actually have you do is roll an animal handling.
Oh, okay.
And you're gonna see if this creature, basically how well you can track this creature or animal or whatever.
Animal handling. Interesting. 15.
You see the Hercules beetle standing there. He's standing at about where the tracks end. You see the other two insects rush up by him and go, "Did you find it? Did you find it? Where is it? Where's it gone? What? How? What happened? What happened?" And the Hercules beetle says, "The rope failed. I don't know what happened." And with a 15, you look off into the woods. It's evaded your sight for this time.
It was definitely Frog, but that's okay. He's my enemy. I need to kill him. Nobody else gets him but me. Okay. I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
wander
think
back.
you're there to save him, but no, you're there to finish the job.
If I can't find him, then I will slowly start going back to camp. I'll make sure that those guys aren't following me.
Yep. With your 20 stealth, you still evade their perception. So you make it back to the camp in time to.
So can I? They ran out really quick. So all that supplies that fell on the ground.
Mhm.
Can I kind of like rush back before they get there and kind of sift through it really quick?
So there wasn't any supplies, just the bag that was holding the creature.
Okay. Can I sniff it then and get a better smell of what was in there?
Yes, you can go ahead and sniff. Just what the frick do I call a smell check? Is that a perception?
Perception, probably.
Yeah, let's
Or
let's
investigation.
I
Roll me a
smell a
smell
smelly
check.
smell.
let's
of
get that
something that
investigation.
smells
Yeah,
smelly.
investigation.
I smell the smelly smell of something.
I think a smell check
No,
is a religion
it's not a
check.
good roll. It's a
Religion
9.
check.
So with a 9,
It's an attack roll.
the thing that you might have thought is familiar is this thing has it's tough. I'll tell you this. This thing was not Frog, but this
Okay.
thing has draconic traits. You could smell some kind of draconic presence.
Yeah.
And the reason it was familiar is in the past you've been in abandoned dens before.
I really just wanted to know, like, if it really was Frog or not. Okay,
Right.
that's all I want to know. Okay, I'll make up my way carefully back to the camp.
All right. You make it back to the camp and curl up and go to sleep.
Okay.
So, was there anything else anyone wanted to do in the evening, or did we want to just wake up in the morning?
I'm just up.
All right. So
Same.
everyone arises in the morning.
That's how Bartholon wakes up. He has a heart attack every morning.
Oh, dang.
I am dead asleep. I am tired. Somebody will probably have to shake me awake.
You see, Guardian picks you up and puts you on his shoulder.
I'll kind of like
He's still asleep. He's just.
I'll just kind of like cuddle into, like, kind of like my
Right.
tail wrapped around his neck. Kind of.
And deep in your sleep, Snug, you feel your hat gently begin to fall from your head. Immediately, you grab it, wake up enough to catch your hat, and go back to sleep.
I was gonna wake him up with thaumaturgy.
I was gonna shock him awake with a shocking grasp.
You guys see that the storm continues into the morning, but it is very obviously day. You guys begin trudging south to the river. Once you get up there, you see a small dock with a series of fishing boats along it. This river is probably more akin to the Mississippi. It's very, very wide, could house a barge if necessary. But you see just what seems to be some fishing docks and small just these small, like, paddle-based transportation barges that are for getting people up and down the river. And there's a guy sitting on a stool, asleep. Rather, how about this? We won't say it's a guy. It'll be just a centaur sitting there at the edge of the dock. Just kind of waiting, basically.
And do we know, are centaurs common around these parts?
Centaurs are common in the Mitfault.
Okay.
They are common nowhere else, though.
So this is pretty unusual.
This is normal in the Mitfault. But as for you guys probably haven't seen very many centaurs.
Yeah. Okay.
And as you guys approach, you see it stands to its height. This is a strong, but not like toned man, with a dapple brown horseback by it, with a dark brown tail. It has in its hand what seems to be a paddle that has a spear point on the other side. And he goes, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
I go
I
ahead.
look towards Callan.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
They say, "Hi, Gwen."
Hi, Gwen.
Now,
Is there any?
Now GTFO of my room.
The best part is like he was about to say now get out, but she immediately
That's
shut
what
it
I
down
was
by
gonna do.
grabbing something, and he's like, "Oh, now go!"
I wish I could kick her out of my room, but I'm in the frickin' living room.
He is the room.
He is
Right.
the room. I just
Um,
now go.
I'm
Did
still
you say
asleep, so I'm just gonna let you guys handle this one.
Did you say that there was a barge?
Yes, he
Yes.
has a travel barge.
Sorry to barge in on you.
Well,
Uh,
my goodman. Callum will step up to him.
Play me out, Hoffman.
He goes, "Hello there."
I trust this morning. Fine.
"Yes, there's much rain, but it's good for fishing."
And what do I know about the centaur's beliefs or culture or religion?
So the centaurs themselves seem to hail from a village. It's about the only community of them. There's about 130, if that. They have an elder-based system, so there's an elder centaur, and that seems to be the leader. Most of them tend to live along the Mitfault and along the open plains between that. If you're looking at the river, you have the kind of northwestern side of the river. There's kind of a blank space between the low and the Mitfault. They exist on the edges of the Mitfault, the river, and the low. Their village is right there. This guy is kind of displaced from that, but as he's a fisherman, he's going to follow the fish.
Sure. Well, actually, who do they believe in? Or what is their religious standing?
So they seem to worship to some extent a version of Kor, which is what they would bring as what they would deem as the life giver. The sun gives to the plants, which gives to the fish, which gives to them. Right? It's a big cycle type of thing for them.
Okay. And I'll say,
yeah.
After he says that the morning's finding him well, I'll say, how are your nets faring? Is the life giver?
The centaur goes, well, the nets have been doing fine in this part of the river. Up in the northern part, it's not as good fishing as one might deem.
let me introduce you to Jesus.
And I'll say, and for what purpose are you fishing? Is that your main trade, or are you fishing for food?
That is my trade. I tend to give out fish, but it is also the food source by which I live. We'll actually make
You
an
have
amendment.
enough.
This guy is a centaur, but his lower half is a moose, so he can go out into the water and fish in that way.
Nice.
It must
Very
be huge,
cool.
that moose.
I'll
Yeah.
say,
Freaking massive.
A box and a donuts and in the woods.
He has a
with the moose
goatee.
and I'll ask him. And what is your name, friend?
Logan.
in
He was ill prepared.
His name is Logan. He said Logan. His name is Logan.
Fantasy name generator, D&D.
Centaur names, Dungeons and Dragons, male
Centaur.
names. My name is Bulk.
Bulk Moosin.
Ball.
My name is
Bulk.
Bulk
I'll say-
Timberrain.
Bulk, cousin of the
go.
Hulk.
I am Lord Callan. It is a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
A
What would
pleasure
it take
indeed.
for me to hire you to take us into the low?
Into the low. Well, that would offset
Indeed.
my...
Hey, hi, Eli. Hi.
Hi, Eli.
Hello?
Hello, clone of Asa.
Eli, punch him.
Oh! That was rude.
Wait. Roll this. Oh, that's right.
You have to
Roll
roll
the
the hit.
hit.
If it exceeds 1, you get to punch him.
5. It's a 5.
Ace's AC is
Wow.
not that high.
Wow.
He takes 1
I'm
HP.
calling the police. That was assault that I just witnessed right now.
And it was on stream. It was on
Yeah.
stream.
It was on stream.
We have
Cool.
proof.
Who you
Sorry,
using?
Eli.
Yeah,
You're
no,
Here,
going to
yeah,
jail.
you guys keep going.
I just realized.
He's going in the can.
Blue
So,
dabbled,
you see, he
dabbled.
He goes, that would offset my fishing. I have a certain amount I need to have brought in today. Perhaps enough to recover that amount. Which is going to be just a little more expensive. You're basically, it's more expensive than normal. You're basically paying for this guy's, whatever he would fish in a day for this barge.
Well, good thing my friend Lord
Perhaps-
Callum is extremely wealthy.
Or perhaps I can be of help.
True.
No, don't listen
Okay.
to
Well,
multiversal
well,
Jesus.
I can make the fish appear. I
I
can.
can just make fish pretty much appear out of nowhere.
Rolls
And
in
then
that
we-
one. Fish that scatter.
The fish that he did catch somehow just evaporate.
All right.
And I'll respond by saying, well, you would be well compensated, I assure you. And perhaps, and I'll gesture towards each of you, and I'll say, one of my traveling companions could help fish while en route.
Guardian steps forward. I can fish very well. I sink to the bottom, and I can see them all.
His eyes light up and lasers go out into the water.
It's like the laser shark thing. Just
Sharks with
just
freaking
guarding
laser
each other.
beams attached.
You see, he steps out into the water, and you see he just kind of angles himself down, and every once in a while, he rears back and swipes and comes up with nothing.
I will build you a fishing
I kinda love
contraption for your boat that will ease your fishing.
For my boat.
As Guardian does that, water will spray everywhere, and I'll Snog will wake up.
Ace is like, I'm
Sorry.
just being asleep. Let me wake up, please.
You hear Guardian go, missed it. Then he swipes again, missed it.
Missed it.
he just
Give me
critical
just
error.
a moment, you guys.
One.
Critical error. Critical error.
He blue screens,
He's got a phone call from a woman.
Red ring of death.
right? He
Oh, no.
restarts.
He's like the in like the Phantom Menace, the battle droids when they're in like their compact form. He just like just like
Snog is, Snog is like,
What do they call the blue things in Star Wars that they throw at the droids?
grenades,
The what's
plasma
that? Say that again,
grenades.
Asa?
Or they're like those bomb things that they.
Yeah, the blue. They call it like a bobbing or something too.
Is it?
Like
Are
I
you
think
talking-
it's
I don't know.
the things that
Phantom
Gungans-
Menace, Gungan grenade.
Oh, the Gungan grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Gungans throw the blue like
the
gum
blue
balls.
plasma balls.
Let me see what they're. Blue Gungan
Bruh.
grenade. Name.
Booma?
Booma.
Yeah.
No,
Booma.
Booma. Oh yeah, I can see Giga Gungan. What's the main Gungan's name? I'm calling him Giga Gungan from now on.
Boss
It's
Nats.
Boss Nast.
Yeah. I can see Boss Nast going, we got the Booma.
Lisa thinks Yusa needs to be Dunish.
So yeah, Booma. Boomas, also known as boomers, energy balls, or Gungan grenades, were spherical grenade-like energy weapons used by the Gungans.
Booma.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Isa thinks you suck. It's
It's
up.
okay.
Anna
We
says
had,
hello.
we had a riveting what?
Oh,
Oh,
Did you
Anna says hello.
Anna says hello.
Good day.
hello, Anna.
Is she watching the stream?
She better be watching the
Wow.
stream.
No, not
You
Wow.
that
have
one.
to text her
Wow.
right now.
Say,
Tune into
"You
the
must
screen.
watch this
Tune
stream."
into the stream. Leave a comment saying "I love Logan."
Tell her she needs to watch the stream, or I'll say vile, evil things to her again.
I know. More vile, evil things, but from each of us this time.
Okie dokie. So Balt, was that his name? Balt?
Wait, what was his name?
Oh, bulk.
Bulk. Because it
Bulk.
was like Hulk, but bulk.
Oh, yeah, Bulk.
It sounds a lot like Bulk from from The Hobbit.
I
Bulk.
was gonna have Bartholon step in and be
Yeah,
like,
it
I will
does,
help
doesn't it?
fish. But I think weirdly enough, Bartholon is gonna see everyone being like, I'll help fish, and see that as like, oh look, they want to partake in Ojin's gifts as well. So he's gonna kind of like let everyone's creativity
Interesting.
shine.
No,
I
the
think-
net that I'm going to build is full of spikes and will instantly murder all of the fish.
It'll just shred him.
Bartholon doesn't know that though, so he's gonna.
And this
Ignorant
is what I
bliss.
call a gun on a stick. You shoot it. Gives him a stick of dynamite to drop.
We get on
river.
we get on the what's it called? We get on the bulge. What is it?
The barge.
The bulge. We get on the bulge. We get on the barge.
We get on Bulk's massive bulge
Shut up.
and ride into the low.
We get on the barge and
Dear
freaking
God.
Sariel just pulls out a minigun, plants it on the front of the thing, and just
I got this.
That would be
just-
the wild. That would be the weirdest part about centaurs for certain. Is that if they're horses, then they have a massive horse weighing. So you're sitting there talking to it, and it just starts pissing. It's like
not if it's
You're like,
the horse from I
"Oh."
Think You Should Leave.
oh, that's that's right.
Well, now he's a moose, so it's like 5 times the size.
I've seen many horse weens, but I don't think I've ever seen a moose ween before.
He's a
I'll be
he's
entirely honest.
he's a centaur that had prostate cancer, so he can't control when he pees. So he,
Sorry, I hate to say this, but you will die soon.
I hope you weren't targeting your stream for children.
Oh no, it's never intended
Okay,
for
good.
children.
Good.
I make sure of that. I know our company too well.
I think Asa and Dante single-handedly can make anything not family friendly.
We've
That would
already
be-
done that.
That would be horrid. A person like
I've been very mild this session.
Until you
'Cause you're
talk
gonna
about
sleep.
prostate cancer.
Until
And
now.
you guys are talking about horse dong peeing all over the place.
I'm just saying that's what it's like. You're sitting there and you're getting, and then the horse just starts pissing. You're like, please. The dog goes to the corner of the lawn. The horse doesn't move. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
That is all, folks.
I'm gonna jump on the ship, the barge. And I'm gonna. Is there like a wheel and stuff like that, or
It's not a wheel. It's
No.
we got a stick?
basically
It's like
just a big
pike-driven.
stick that you're gonna
Right.
pull.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I'll pull out my mini dagger and be like, let's move forward.
Forward.
We haven't even like discussed
Cool,
payment or
Gilligan.
anything.
So yeah. So I believe Callan said that he was going to compensate him.
Yeah.
So he'll just take the gold.
I take the pouch from
perfect.
Callan and hand it to him.
and your guys' inventions.
Oh yes.
And then he's gonna start to go. We're gonna say
This Guardian weighed down the
That's-
boat.
that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to think. How's Guardian gonna do it? Because Guardian's
How
very
about-
heavy.
How about we just say that Guardian meets us there as he plows through the freaking
Yeah, we can-
jungle?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we can
say
just.
have the barge go on the river and then just even though it isn't accurate, just have Guardian running alongside of it, perfectly sped
Yeah.
with it.
Or
What
can
you
you
do
like
is
can you
tie
lie
a
down?
rope.
Like can you lie down
tie a
flat and spread out his weight?
What we'll say is Guardian. You'll tie a rope around his waist, and he'll walk at the bottom of the river and pull the barge behind him.
Okay, I
Oh,
like that.
I mean, let's do that. He'll be
I
able
thought-
to walk underwater
I thought you were
faster
gonna
than
say-
we can push it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that we were dragging him. I was like, isn't that literally just what an anchor is?
That's an anchor. He just boom. Nah, he'll walk
This
along
anchor
the
can
base.
walk.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, Mr. Centaur, your duties are no longer required, as we have this thing
Right.
that you do not understand walking at the base of the river.
I like to think
The
that like
centaur will nod. He'll be like, "Okay."
I like to think that while Guardian is down there walking the boat, he's still trying to catch fish and missing.
Right.
Dang it.
I think as Snog is standing on Guardian's shoulder, is he still on Guardian's shoulder, or did he hop down?
I'm pretty. I don't
Guardian
know.
Guardian starts to walk into the water, and Snog starts to realize that he's not gonna let him off. He's like, "Oh, oh!"
Oh,
Anyhow, so we
I'm
continue.
gonna
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna hold my breath and I'm gonna see how long I can stay under.
Eventually, Snog's limp corpse floats to the top of the river.
He died due to arrogance.
Apparently not long enough.
Right. Like, as soon as Snog goes under the water, you see his hat floats up to the top, and Snog freaks out trying to get... It looks like he's drowning as he's splashing around trying to get his hat back.
I reach down and pick him up.
So we're
Kinda
going
like-
to continue...
You know how like you grab a wet cat out of like
Yeah.
the water and it looks all miserable? That's how I look. Just like
we continue down the river as slowly the land changes from woods to plain, and then once again it changes back into woods, but it's a different kind. This isn't a typical swamp. These trees are inhabited by great apes, wild great apes,
Howler monkey?
that are not... there can't... You hear...
Those like gibbon monkeys?
Yeah, you hear there are many things that exist in these woods. This is like kind of the marriage of a jungle and a swamp at the same time. But you guys continue through the swamp. With Snog at the helm, I'm going to say it's pretty easy for you guys to get guided toward the heart of the low. When finally you make it in this area, you hop off the barge. And it is beginning to be, like noon the next day. So you guys could rest on the barge as it went through. The river, the Mitfault, or the river, is known as like, this is the place to be in the Mitfault. It's the safest place because even the night, the shadow or the night government or whatever cannot exist without the use of the river. So it is kind of like a hallowed ground, right? Anyways, you guys are still on the barge and arrive to the heart of the low at about noon the next day. You get there, Guardian walks out of the water and he wraps the rope around a tree and ties it. And then he waits at the shore for you guys to hop off and come to him. You guys, again, you're in the heart of the low. We're going to have Snog roll a nature check to attempt to see what he can see about a potential dragon's lair.
27.
So with a 27, it's really difficult. It's very thick vegetation. You see vines and different types of water mosses that have creeped up onto the shores. You're seeing these large rocks and mired stones that seem to be blackened by the dirt beneath them. But then you see something else. You see what seems to be a series of old stumps that have rotted over. These aren't burned. It seems that these were sickened. They were caused to be ill, that some kind of plant plague had been attacking this area in the low. Snog, as you look around, you start to realize this is the effect of a noxious gas that could be emitted from a black dragon's throat. You are near his domain, if not near his den. You guys continue through the swamp. As these things get more and more warped, these trees begin to grow in weird, angular ways. They grow at diagonals, they grow out and bend up and around. It seems that the trees have been warped by something that existed here before, something that's darkness physically changed the land and cursed things from growing in the natural way. Snog, you lead everybody to the entrance of the den. Callan, this is correct. This is as described, this entrance. This is a hole that goes down into the mud, but you know that beyond the hole is a great and mighty cavern that Yolru would have once inhabited. This entrance is as described to you.
Okay.
Cool, and I'll give a word of warning to stay kind of higher up, because like I assume that the toxic gas kind of settles to the floor. Kind of be like, don't crawl or don't go too low, or the noxious gas will you'll choke on it.
I think that's an accurate observation by Snog. He begins, if you get too close to the ground, you would choke on it. This dragon has not existed here. This den has long been dormant. But Snog, even you know that if you disturb some of the plant life on the ground or in this particular path, it seems to release spores and fumes that are toxic.
At least I'm going to be on the guardian's shoulder.
All right.
Because I'm a wee lad.
That's right. Thank you.
So you guys proceed into the dungeon of this dragon, when suddenly you come upon what looks like the image of a small blonde boy. It is a child, a human child, who has blonde hair, long blonde hair that's rough and scraggled, and you see that he carries with him a bent iron rod. And he stands.
Who was this?
It seems
A
to be
small
something that you
child.
come upon in the cavern. It's a small
Okay.
child with ragged clothing, a bent iron rod, and blonde hair.
Okay.
I have abandoned my child.
I have abandoned my child.
What are you guys quoting?
It's what the F is it?
I forgot the movie.
It's
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, everyone can see it.
Yeah, he isn't it? Is it the same movie as the Your Milkshake? Is that what it is?
It brings all the boys to the
Not that Ace. That is different. I've abandoned my
There will be
child.
blood.
That's it.
There will be blood.
I've abandoned my child.
I've abandoned my child.
All right.
Yo,
What do you want me to say?
I guess as we near this child,
You've come here and you've brought good
I'll gesture
and wealth,
for
but you
the,
have also brought your bad habits as a
or I'll give the
backslider.
rope a little tug.
You've lusted after women, and
gesturing
you
for
have abandoned
Guardian
your
to
child.
stop pulling us
your
closer.
child that you raised.
you guys
have
are on-
We're
abandoned
already on
all
the
because
shore.
He was sick,
Yeah.
Oh,
and you
sure.
have sinned.
So
say
you're on
it
foot
now.
in the
I am
in
a
this
sinner.
cavern at this
Say
point.
it louder.
That's right.
I am a sinner.
I guess I'll put a hand out
Louder,
to
Daniel!
gesture
I am
for
a
everybody
sinner!
to stop.
I am a sinner.
And I'll say,
I am sorry, Lord.
I am sorry,
I'll
Lord.
call
I
out to the
want
child
the
and I'll
blood.
say,
Want the blood?
You have
my
abandoned
child,
your child.
what brings you here tonight?
I've
This
abandoned my
today.
child.
I will never
See, the
backslide.
child
I will
is
never
kneeling
backslide.
in front of
was
what
lost,
seems
but
to
now
be a
I am
further
I was
found.
lost, but now
entrance
I'm found.
into
I
the
have
cavern
abandoned
that
my
would end the
child.
cavern and begin the dragon's den, right?
Say it.
See, as you
I'm
call
burning
for
my
the child,
say
it stands
louder.
up
Say it
and it
louder.
looks
I've
back
abandoned
toward
my
you, and you see a
child!
very gaunt,
I've
sickly
abandoned my
face.
child!
The child looks
I've
like
abandoned my
it is
boy!
malnourished, like it has
Beg
been
for
here
the
for a long, long time. A time even longer than its age.
Can I make an insight check or arcana check to see if I recognize, is this creature a magical creature?
So go ahead and roll an insight check.
Insight. That one.
This thing looks at you, and it's very inviting.
Very
I
inviting,
guess
you
I'll
said?
just kind of
It's a
stride
boy.
forward and I'll say, my boy, you look unwell. Allow me to help.
You see, as you reach out to get the boy, it lunges its hands toward you, where at the end of its fingers are long, pointed talons that seem dipped in black ink as it tries to scratch at you. Go ahead and roll initiative.
All of us?
Dear God.
Yep.
But I didn't do anything to the boy. Why do I have to an initiative?
18.
All right, 18.
Oh, yikes.
I have advantage.
Yikes.
I have advantage on
Cool.
initiative. Yeah,
That's a big old 7 from the lad.
7. I'd like to propose a 7.
Hey, Caleb's laughing at my 7, but I don't know if Asa showed
Alright.
him a 3 or a 12. Or a
There you-
21.
Or I don't know.
21.
I also got a
Alright.
21.
Hey!
So I believe Snog has a higher dexterity modifier, so Snog will go first. Second will be Isariel.
I've abandoned my child.
Abandon my child.
Good one, Guardian.
Thank you.
Sorry, writing down the... So we're going to start at the top of the order with Snog, who sees this boy lash out at Callan.
Okay. I'm gonna attack twice. Because how far away is he? He's probably like 10 feet away.
Yeah, you guys, it depends how close you approached. So I would say when Callan initially stopped you, you were about 20 feet away,
Yeah.
and then Callan approached further
Okay.
to engage with the child.
I have the high ground as I'm standing on the guardian's shoulders, and I'll throw my 2 daggers.
Alright.
And it's good that I'm going first because I have ambush master.
Alright.
And the first creature you hit during the first round of combat becomes easier for you and others to strike. Attack rolls against this target have advantage until the start of their next turn.
Heck yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Would you like to roll your sneak attack with that?
I would. I really
Alright.
would. All right. Oh, I have to roll the hit first. 1 second. Ignore that if you guys. Okay. 21 to hit.
That hits.
Cool.
And your
25.
second
I
dagger?
just rolled.
25, okay.
Just want to see if I crit really quick. Come on. There it is. Okay, no crit, but I hit both times.
You hit both times, alright. Go ahead and roll your damage plus your sneak attack.
And I just do sneak attack with one of the. Okay, so 10 for the first one, and then 18 with the base attack.
Yeah.
Where I know. Oh, there it is. Sneak attack. Get out of here. Clear all. Oops. 35 sneak attack damage.
You see that these deadly throws hit this child as it slits its throat,
Ooh.
but the child maintains its position It doesn't move, and you see black ooze start to pour down its body.
Okay.
That's not normal.
That's no
It goes,
shit.
Oh shit!
Following Snog's turn, it is Asariel's turn.
Everybody gets advantage on their attacks.
Nice. I suit up.
Briefcase, Iron Man moment.
And I make my way towards Le Boy.
All right.
The child.
You approach the child. It as it bubbles more darkness from its mouth.
Disgusting, mate. And did we... Armoring up is a whole action, isn't it?
I don't
Or
think
did
so.
we say that was a bonus action? Because on
I
my
think
thing it
it's a
says,
bonus action.
as an action, you can turn your suit of armor you are wearing into arcane armor, providing you have smith tools in hands.
So your armor is already arcane armor. So
Okay.
it's just on, basically.
It just
the flavor is that it gets on. So
Got it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I put it on like freaking Iron Man. And I am going to punch him right in the face.
all right.
Several
Go ahead and roll
times.
to hit this guy.
Okay. Does a 31 hit?
A 31 does indeed hit.
Dear
Jason's
Okay.
done with it.
gosh. Just gonna
And
pulverize this kid's head.
then does a 14 hit.
14 does
With
not
advantage?
hit.
Okay.
Was the 14 with advantage?
No. How about a nat 20?
Yep, that hits.
Cool.
Jason's already done with this conflict.
I'll roll the other one just to see what it would have been. Okay. Because I forgot advantage on both of them. Alright. Now for damage, for the first one is 11 thunder damage.
11 thunder damage.
Yep. And then the second one is 9. With the crit is 18.
18. All right. So you do 29 damage in total.
Yeah.
So you see Asariel pops up and he goes and he slams with one fist. As he hits and it makes the contact, it boom, and you see there's a grill on it that just as some steam just bursts out from the fist, and he hits again, boom, with a little more steam. You see the kid. We're going to say the first hit him in the stomach, and the next one hit him in the face, the crit. You see you hit him in the stomach as your fist and gauntlet folds into his stomach, and the black ooze like venom grips onto your fist. Your second one, boom, his entire bottom mandible drops from him as more black ooze fills the gap. And you see that his bottom jaw is caught in the ooze as it slowly starts to drip down him. Go ahead and roll a strength save to not have your hand be restrained.
I think there might be something wrong with this kid, guys.
I think this kid is sick. Is that
A
according to that, though? A 9 fails, so your fist gets grabbed and gripped by this black ooze as it tries to hold you in. You try to jerk away, and it has you, basically. Following Asariel's turn, it's Callan's turn.
And I am going to, using my Ascendant Step ability, I am going to just step into the air, casting Levitation at will, and I am going to lash out with 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll to hit them.
Callan's a warlock? That's pretty cool.
19,
Hits.
13,
Hits. Oh no, that one misses.
and 28.
So 2 of them hit, 1 of them misses. Caleb's 14 misses, and I go, 13 hits, Callan. Good job.
That will be a total of
That's the same
15
thing.
damage.
That's the same thing as me being like, I have 12 minutes less on Coolin, but 13 more than Asa. It's like just statistically improbable.
So how much damage was that, Logan?
15.
Did you
15
do that with
damage?
advantage?
You see as these silver beams of energy.
Oh wait, I didn't do advantage.
Oh, go ahead. Roll with advantage.
Advantage.
I was explaining something.
Yeah,
First one
don't
still
say
hits.
Okay.
Second one is now a 19.
Yep, that hits.
Okay.
Nice.
And then, so that second one deals an additional 3 damage.
Nice.
The third
Alright.
one
Wait,
is almost a nat 20, but not quite.
Logan,
so
do you
same damage.
have agonizing blast on Callan?
I do not.
Oh, bummer.
Mm.
So 3. So
That's free
how much
15
damage
damage.
was that in total? 18?
18. Yes.
You see as these 3 bolts of silver energy come from Callan's hands and just smash this thing. You see that every single beam or blast that hits him just bursts out with more of this black ooze as it drips down. At this point, this thing is less of a kid and more of a blob with these human appendages attached to it. It still reaches out with its hand, but it is a
Boy.
blob.
It is a blob.
Following Callan's turn, you see that it holding the child's half assembled skull in the top of this blob. It turns and it looks and acknowledges all of you. It's going to release Caleb, and you see as the ooze begins to boil inside of it. Following this thing's turn, it's Guardian's turn. Guardian is going to draw his two-handed greatsword. He's going to approach, and he's going to just slam down on the top of this thing as hard as he can. All right. Okay, that's a nat 20 for his first hit. And his second hit just hits. Let me hurry and pull this up. Sorry.
Are we doing the 2 nat 20 thing?
Yeah, but I'm only going to have you guys do it if you want to do it. I'm not going to let Guardian do it unless you really want him to.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't believe in the I don't believe in NPCs taking the kill from the party.
Sure.
So, all right, nat 20. Wow, that sucked. All right, that sucked. Wow.
Hey, it's just because it heard you say, I don't believe in NPCs taking the kill. It's like, okay, he's going to do piss poor damage.
Right. Bruh, that sucks. So he's also going to smite that. He's going to he's going to 4th level divine smite. So you're going to see he swings his greatsword down onto this thing's head as from his eyes you see this lime green energy pulse up his arms into his sword and as it disperses into the slime. And you see that as he does that, he cleaves what was the child head in half. I do want to say there's no blood. It's just black ooze. You see this thing cleaves in half, and the ooze kind of like and starts to just spill down the rest of his head. Again, still boiling. Following Guardian's turn, it's Bartholon's turn.
Come on, Fishman.
The issue is I don't want to attack it because I feel like the boiling is like a self-destruct button, and if I get close to it, it's gonna nuke us all. So I'm gonna. You said I'm about 20 feet away from it, from the entrance.
Yep.
What's the farthest?
Well, you're about 20 feet from the kid.
From the ooze.
Mm-hmm.
What's the farthest away from the ooze I can get while still having LOS on it?
You can get an additional 15 feet away. So in total,
35?
you would be 35 feet away from it. Yeah.
Okay, then I will do that. And I'm going to cast...
Poo poo pee pee?
I'm going to cast Poo Poo Pee Pee, I think.
Pee pee pee.
Oh!
Pee 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 pee.
No, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame,
Mm-hmm.
which is 60 feet. And
Yeah.
it is a dex save. And
All right.
it's flame-like radiance descends on a creature that you can see within range. So I'm gonna obviously put it on Isariel. No, I'm just kidding. on the blob. So yeah, a dex save DC 21.
Dex save DC 21.
Yeah,
All right, this thing has bad dex.
good.
You see, this
Good.
thing fails the dex save.
Okay, so that is then 3d8 damage. Where's my d8? All right. So 8,
8.
6,
Ooh.
and 7. 8, 6, and 7. We will take that. So that's 21. I believe radiant damage. Yeah, 21 radiant damage.
You see, you summon down, or from yourself, like a sacred flame. Just basically the Baldur's Gate look. You see, you summon down a golden light as it hits into this boiling creature. See, the inside of it glows for a second as it hits, and this dark, purplish black ooze continues to boil, but takes a hit. Following Bartholon's turn, it's Snog's turn.
Did you do James?
I did 21 radiant damage to him.
Mm.
I called down an orbital laser.
Let's see. So I'm gonna hop down. How's this guy looking? He's looking pretty oozy.
Very
yeah.
oozy.
Okay,
He looks probably about 85% ooze at this point.
cool. I'm gonna hop
Boiling
down,
ooze.
and I'm gonna like kind of jump to the ground. I'm gonna pull my 2 daggers out of the ooze,
Yeah.
and I'm going to cast Green Flame Blade.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So the first attack will have that Green Flame Blade. Let's see. Okay, well let's roll to hit first. See, that'll be my okay. 20 to hit on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that'll be with a needle of bending. Let me write down what I'm doing really quick.
The notes.
So that's okay. Let's do that damn at first attack. So it's a 9, and then I'm gonna roll the green blade flame damage, which I have to read really quick because it does a different amount of damage when you.
It's at least 1.
I think it's
It's 1d8?
2d8,
Is it?
and then when
Oh,
it hops to
because it's
another
higher
person, you
level?
add a +3 to it. So 2d8. We'll do that really quick. Roll. Ooh, nice. So that's 11. Which equals so 11 flame damage. Okay, and then the second attack. Let's see if I hit with that one. Does a 17 hit?
A 17 hits.
Okay, cool. And I will do sneak attack on that one.
Alrighty.
So that'll be 9, an additional 9, plus the sneak attack damage. There it is.
Reclining chair.
Plus 29 damage.
I can make my chair not recline, so I can basically go from this.
40, 18. So that's 58 damage
Hot bane.
in total.
Alright. So you see this thing? One dagger, second dagger flaming. So did you apply your sneak attack to the first dagger hit?
Second.
Or was it the second? So the second dagger is the big boy dagger. It's got green flame blade on it and sneak attack. See, the first dagger hits the ooze. Second dagger burns a hole into the ooze, and as Snog pulls it back, it rips it open again. This thing continues to and boil. Following again Snog's turn is Asariel's turn.
Really quick, does it look like this thing's going to explode?
Go ahead and we'll give you, because you only did your attack, we're going to say, go ahead and roll me just a perception. or insight. I don't know how to determine a creature's ability to explode or not.
Boiling. I was like, okay, like bubbling. 30
Yep.
perception.
It looks like this thing is probably about to erupt in some form or another.
That's what I was thinking. Can I disengage?
Go ahead, disengage.
Okay, and I'm just gonna be like, this thing might explode, and I'm gonna kind of just kind of wrap around Guardian and kind of hide.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and continue with Isariel's turn. So Snog just says this thing might explode and hides behind Guardian. And goes, there, lizard, stay behind.
If that's the case, I am also going to disengage and take a few steps back.
All right. How many feet are we talking?
I'll follow suit and go back by Guardian.
Okay, so Guardian is 5 feet away from this thing.
Never mind, I'm going farther.
He did
get me
come up
farther
and smack
back.
it on top of the head with his
That's
sword.
right.
Behind Guardian, but like far behind Guardian.
I'll go back.
Okay.
I'm 35, which I asked DM how far away I could get, and he said 35.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good thing I have 35 feet of walking distance.
You Minecraft run. So
if you jump, you go faster.
Yeah, he's jumping.
Yeah,
But I'm hitting my head on the freaking ceiling.
Right.
There's a perfect room that's like straight right above his head, and he's like jumping, Spanish jump all the way in.
Then following Isariel's turn, it's Callan's turn.
And I also am going to float away as far back as I can. And then shoot another 3 Eldritch Blasts at him.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll.
Pew pew pew.
Alright. And is this an advantage? Or no? That was just the first round.
Not
That was
this
just
round.
the first
It's the
round.
first one.
That's 20, 26, and 26. Okay, for a total of 2 plus 5 plus 1. A grand total of 8 damage.
Yeah.
Again, these beams. Callan floats backwards, shoots, as this thing gets hit again, and you see on this thing's initiative, the child pieces start to expand along with it. As it gains and increases its actual size until it's probably about 10-ish feet by 10-ish feet. Boom! Then it bursts 20 feet out from any side of itself. So those of you that are 35 feet away don't get hit. The rest, whoever stayed within the 35 feet, will get hit, but has to make a dex save.
I think I have 40 feet of movement, so.
So you're back. How much movement did you have, Callan?
30 feet.
All right, 30 feet. The only person who was within the range was
Guardian.
Guardian.
Oh, no.
You see, Guardian goes, "What is going? Oh no!" And then explodes. You guys, you guys watch as this black ooze just and hangs all over the cave. You see it dripping down right in front of you. You see what would have been the skull of this child just fall into a pile of black ooze before you. And then you see the black ooze slowly seeps into the ground. Guardian is completely covered in the black ooze. Guardian's going to roll a constitution check.
And melts before our eyes.
And you see as the black ooze seeps into the cracks and crevices of his metal form. Guardian turns toward you all. Yes,
Actually,
Logan?
can I will use prestidigitation to clean him instantaneously.
Clean him instantaneously.
How big of an area
He's
is
gonna
that?
remove the ooze.
What's that?
How big of an area is presentation?
It's a very small area.
Isn't it 5 foot cube?
Then little by little I will clean him.
You could probably like alleviate some of it.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll give him advantage on his Constitution with Prestidigitation. Technically, this is happening on Guardian's initiative,
Right.
but we'll give him advantage on his Constitution save. All right.
Continues to fail.
Oh, wait.
Caleb,
Okay.
behind you.
Let me pull up the.
I don't-
Dang. If I could actually roll, so I rolled a 2 for the first time and a 7 for the second time on his Constitution save. Guardian adds 9. The DC for this is 17. So Guardian actually failed by 1. But I do want to give him a bonus. So just remember that I said that I want to give. I like the
You gave him a
thinking with
bonus.
Prestidigitation. I give him a bonus in some way.
You gave the inspiration that would have gone to Logan to Guardian.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right.
I was like, if that doesn't work, Logan Claude, may I please cast guidance? But hey, that works too.
Right. I do like the idea. I do like the idea of being like, oh, there's ooze on him. Prestidigitation, clean it off. So I want to still give you the benefit of having a good idea, but it won't come into play until a little bit later. So I need you to just remember you have the benefit of the doubt, I guess, in that time.
Okay.
When you start hating me, just know.
Right. Before you start hating me, I extended my hand for peace. But you see this seeps into Guardian's armor. As Guardian turns towards you guys, you see the blue begins to flicker in his eyes and temporarily alights green. Guardian looks at you all and says, in his robotic tone, he says, those who enter the lair of Yolru must pass Yolru's exam of malice, hatred, and evil. Those who pass will make it to his den. And then you see he just goes back to the light blue. And then he starts to come over to you guys and stand guard.
And is there any ooze left on him that we can see?
There's no ooze on him that you can see any longer.
Is there ooze that we can't see?
Perhaps.
As you look around, there is only ooze. So what happened from the explosion? Like it exploded and then what do we see?
So Guardian is the only one who got hit by it. So he's the only one who takes any effect from the explosion.
Mhm.
You see Guardian did in fact take some damage. He also had to make that Constitution save. But you see that the room is covered in this black ooze, and then you have the entrance that the small boy was kneeling at that is kind of, just there now. And this is, as you guys would know, I don't know if any of you who speak Draconic or Celestial
I speak
would
Celestial.
be able to read along the entrance of this domain of Yolru.
You made me a kobold that can't speak Draconic.
Hand of Aeseldor. Technically, kobolds aren't dragons. Yeah,
You are just a
You just
lizard.
got the mic trap. Actually, treatment is
I
actually,
can speak head, whatever that is.
you can speak to witches, Asa.
Oh, okay.
Koski,
Yes.
can I approach? Okay, I didn't know you were the DM now, Caleb. Interesting. Can I approach?
Caleb
I
is
am.
the DM, so.
Can
that's
I
what it is, I
approach
suppose.
Guardian and can I, looking at like the finer points of his, I suppose, craftsmanship, can I see where some ooze might be? Like, say there's a crack in his armor, and some ooze could have gotten in. Can I use mending to heal those cracks up to see if it will expel any excess ooze?
You go ahead and you cast Mending on Guardian, and Guardian can be healed by the mending spell. So you see that Guardian gets healed a little bit, but you don't see any ooze expelled.
Now, because it's a cantrip, can I just Keep doing it until he's full health.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I want to do.
Oh,
The
yep.
Guardian just he gets fixed. Following this, you guys now stand here before the entrance of Yolru's lair, knowing that there will be a test of malice, hatred, and evil.
Well, I believe there's only one path forward. I believe we
Indeed.
take it with bravery.
You guys
And
proceed. Oh, go ahead.
Callan, still floating in the air or still levitating, is just going to start striding into the maw of the cave.
All right.
And then as soon as you see that, you're going to see my character jot down some notes. And those of you who can see his paper, he's taking notes on levitation devices and trying to figure out how to create technology to do that.
Going into the test, Bartholon's just gonna do the Ojin equivalent of whatever. He's
Right.
just gonna do the Ojin equivalent of that.
He clutches his pearls.
Hold on. He clutches his thing that you told me about. That I'm not.
Oh,
gonna
his
say.
amulet?
Yeah.
All right, he clutches his amulet. And then he in. You all walk in. You see that, interestingly enough, very adversely to the cavern, Yolru's lair is well carved, which is kind of not a familiar thing for chromatic dragons. They seem to just have holes in the ground with chambers. This is a stairwell that is carved with ebony pillars running down the walls. You see that the ceiling of this is some kind of marbled peat type of mud. You see a series of you probably see a lot of bones that are scattering throughout. You see they are contorted and they seem to have some kind of like contracted. What those of them that are perhaps frozen in some of the peat have been contracted and changed as if they had entered some kind of rigor mortis in life from some kind of paralytic gas. You see, as you proceed through, that you come to the threshold of a chamber, and written above the chamber it says, Room of Malice.
And while we enter, is there anything? I want to be very cautious. Enter. Are there signs of life outside of like the rigor mortis people, or like are there any sounds emanating from inside the cave, or traps to look out for?
It is completely silent.
Eerily quiet.
I'll say that maybe
Interesting.
some signs of life you see are like peat moss is a really good preservative. So I'll even say there's like some ancient peoples from times long unremembered that are hanging from the peat and the bogged mud that is on the top of the ceiling. So you're seeing things like green-skinned goblins who used to roam the lands of Udrend, who no longer have an actual presence here. Things like that.
Interesting. Does this all match up to what I've read about this place?
So the only thing you read is the actual entrance to the lair, which you guys have crossed, and it seems to match it. You actually see in some of the writing that it talks about the exams and having to pass them to proceed, or fail them. It is uncertain, but many people seem to believe that passing them is necessary to get into Yolru's lair, as Yolru was quite the tyrant of a thing when it was alive.
Okay. Okay. So I guess looking into the room of malice, Callan will gesture for Guardian. Guardian, enter. Let us know what you see.
You see Guardian.
I'll cast guidance on Guardian.
Guardian gets guidance. You see Guardian crosses the threshold and again turns toward you as his eyes flicker from this blue to that gross green color. And he says, "This is the room of malice. One must prove their intent to cause harm to those who stand in their way." And then Guardian turns back around. His lights flicker lights as he walks forward in. Guardian
So
says, "Go ahead."
I'm sorry. So the intention or this test to show that we have intention to cause harm.
Perhaps, yes.
Just to figure out our intentions.
Hmm.
Callum will step forward
All right.
and pass over the threshold.
All right. Callan passes over the threshold, and immediately the door behind him seems to melt into dark ooze. All of you outside of the door still see an entrance. It is only Callan who changes. He cannot hear Guardian any longer, as Guardian was speaking to him. Callan,
It disappears
you
for us. Like it looks.
you guys,
We still
it just
see the
kind
door.
of looks like you still see the doorway, but you see Callan walks beyond like the threshold of light, so he just goes into shadow. Callan behind you, it looks like it just melts away into ooze as you enter the room of malice. The
Ew,
doorway
brother.
does.
Ew.
Yeah.
But you can still hear Guardian talking. Like those of you on the outside can hear Guardian speaking on the inside.
But Callan
Okay.
cannot.
But Callan cannot.
Callan.
I guess
Callan.
I'll venture forth deeper into the room.
All right. Callan, you step forward into this room that seems to be forming in front of you. You feel as the path you take is straight, and then it begins to bend like a river. As the bends get more aggressive, and you start to feel like you've been in this room for a longer amount of time than you actually believe it should have taken to cross through. When suddenly, you seem to walk out. You see this path bends one more time and begins to straighten and match the marble of the Forgoth entrance into your room. As then the doorway into your bedroom is standing right before you.
Mm.
Interesting. And I'm aware that this is unnatural.
You are aware this is unnatural.
I guess I'll just see it through. I'll step into my bedroom.
Callan, you
What do I
open the
see?
door into your bedroom, and we're going to swap back to the people outside the front doorway.
Okay.
Do I sense that Callan went through some kind of hallucinogen like that?
I don't know how to check it, how you sense that. I think something like that occurs. I think like you know that something odd has happened. You know that like once you step past the threshold, the room might be different for each of you.
Okay.
Because you hear what Guardian is explaining, but you can't see into the room. And Guardian is talking about a room full. Basically, he's talking about a room full of cogs and wires. That's what he's describing.
So now, guidance is only one person, and it's concentration. So can I only have it at on one person at a time?
You can choose to stop concentrating on somebody else who has it and give it to yourself if you'd like.
Okay.
Or you can choose, like once they use it, guidance is over.
Right, but I'm saying
I'm
like
pretty sure.
I can't put it on Snog, let Snog go in, and then put it on Asariel, and they both have it. Only one of them can have it at a time.
No, you would have to wait
Right.
out there until they used it. So
Okay.
like you could send Snog in and you could be like, wait, Asariel, we're going to let Snog use his guidance before we send you in. But if Snog never uses the guidance, then you'll just have to take it from him, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a D4. I think I'm gonna put guidance on myself and walk in.
All
I
right.
also have guidance, so
Sick AF. So Snog goes in naked. The two of you have a cloak on, basically. And actually,
Me
what
and
we'll
my
say is
AF.
that
huh?
to you, Bartholon, it sounds like there is water beyond the door. You hear the crashing of waves. Isariel, you hear the turning and changing of mechanisms and clicking of doors, things similar. And Snog, you think you hear Frog.
Frog?
No.
I hear that through the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
If
I
he's
run
gonna,
through.
yeah, okay. I was like, if he's gonna run through, I'm gonna slap him on the back and give him guidance real quick. I'll give it to him, since I knew
Okay.
I knew Snog was gonna run in like immediately once you said frog. So I was like, you know what,
Yes.
might as well just let him go in.
Snog,
This is the favorite rivalry I've ever had, like seen in a D&D game.
Snog,
Yeah.
you leap into the doorway. And this isn't a winding path for you. This is just the doorway to a tavern bedroom. A rented tavern room stands before you. Or basically the doorway into one. But you recognize this tavern doorway, Snog. This is a tavern you stayed in a number of years ago. One of the first times you met Frog.
Okay.
You
I go in the
you
tavern.
have to choose to enter.
Oh, okay. I was like,
You have to choose to enter or not.
Is there just this? What else is around? Is it just darkness?
It just is darkness.
Okay. All right. I'll enter the tavern.
The Snog door.
You open the doorway into this tavern bedroom, and you see a tavern that is bursting with joy. You see people who are laughing and clanging drinks, etc., etc. You see at the very far edge of the bar, a small red kobold sitting, drinking, hatless.
Oh, that's me.
Before you had your hat.
Pre-hats.
Does he look happy? Does he look full of joy and openness, or does he look grim? Or
Was Snog happy before he got his hat?
no?
Snog looks at himself and knows truly that even though he feigns happiness to public people, deep inside he is lost. He's missing something, and he needs to fill the void.
Wait, does Snog
Enter Frog wearing the hat.
does Snog have the scarf that he accused Frog of stealing that one time when they were fighting?
He does not.
So he has
Snog
no
seems to
scarf
be-
and no hat.
He has no hat. Not right now.
Okay. I'll start to approach my old self and kind of be cautiously looking around.
You begin to approach, and as you do, you realize that you now wear the hat and the scarf. You approach and put your hand upon your own shoulder, and you see as the younger Snog, with both eyes, turns and looks toward you and goes, "Hello? Where'd you get that hat from?"
You like it? Oh, actually, where did I get the hat from? I don't know. Do you want me to just make something up?
Yep.
All right.
Frog said that you stole it from him.
No,
Can't
I thought
remember.
that was
Did Frog say that?
scarf.
So
I don't know.
Frog
Look it up.
so Frog said he had the hat, and Snog said he had the scarf. And when Frog stole the scarf from Snog, Snog stole the hat.
Yeah.
Were me? I can't remember. Were me and Frog? Did we used to be friends at one point?
Yes, you and
Yes.
Frog were at one time friends. But then you lost your scarf and you lost your eye.
Yes. I'm gonna look at my younger self, and I'm gonna say, okay, wait, really quick. Sorry, I think I know what I'm gonna say, but how did it? He stole my eye and my scarf. How did that go down? Is that all I know? Like you told
So
me, or
you, Snog in thinking, remembers what's significant about this exact evening. This is the evening that Snog lost his eye to Frog. He remembers this tavern very well. And he remembers the first time he saw Frog. You see, Snog is looking at you, waiting for you to respond, and in the void of response, you turn as you hear the tavern door open, and you see the young green kobold Frog walk in. Frog is missing his left eye, or pardon, his right eye. Frog does not have one.
did he have one in the marketplace?
He did.
Uh,
Interesting.
okay, I see. So I'm gonna look over. As in the void of silence, I'm gonna look over. Um, and I'll say, an old friend turned enemy. Gave me this hat.
What's Wait, did Asa freeze? I thought. What did you say, Asa?
No.
I said an old friend turned enemy gave me this hat.
You see, as Snog looks away from you, he sees Frog with no eye, a hat, and a scarf entering the tavern. Snog looks back at you, seeing the hat and the scarf, and then he looks back at Frog, seeing the hat and the scarf. We're going to pause here, and we're going to go back to the entrance. We have Bartholon, and we have Isariel still standing out here.
Asariel, loving puzzles and problems and solving them to the best of his ability, is a little bit anxious to get in. And so, like, as it, like, builds up, as he's, like, waiting, listening to the other people on the inside, he's just gonna step forward, like, without thinking.
As you step forward and you move beyond the threshold of the darkness, you begin to fall. You begin to fall through what seems like an open tunnel, something, but as you look, it slowly begins to glow, and you see copper paneling, grates, everything, piping running down. And you hit a grate on the base of this flooring.
Superhero landing. Bing! As Iron Man stands up.
You stand and you walk forward. You start to see displays unlike anything you've seen before, something so otherworldly and beyond comprehension. Wires plugged into the displays running across the floor. You see hovering drones flying across the room at full speed. An alarm is going off.
I know.
Piping as it begins to burst out. Isariel, you step forward and you see what looks like the exoskeleton of a decaying robotic man. Something that you might have built yourself if given the right things at the right time. We're going to go back to the front of the entrance of this doorway. We see Bartholon, High Priest of Ojin, standing out front of a door where you can hear his domain, the waves crashing.
Before I
From
cross
the inside, he hears
threshold-
Asariel, walk through the door!
Before I cross the threshold, can I see them on the other end of the threshold, or are they completely gone once they pass?
As you step into the darkness, let me know if you have dark sight. Or dark vision.
I do not. However, can I? Where is it? Where is it? I have a. Oh yeah. Is this bright enough? Or I mean, is this dark enough that if I were to light a light, that it would
Mhm.
like I'd be able to see in the dark, or is it kind of like Falcor's smoke in Logan's campaign, where I can't see
It's
through it with light?
similar to Falcor's smoke, but when you do light the light, you only see the faint glow of Guardian stepping forward with his hands straight out. And
Okay.
he's saying, I hear ocean. I hear cogs. I hear a tavern. He's talking as he's walking forward in the darkness.
And I can't see any of these three, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's safe to assume that what is happening to them is like they actually are moving. They're not just standing still.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna move forward as well.
As you step forward, Guardian goes away. You can no longer see him. His voice becomes muffled as there you are on a poorly made raft floating across the ocean, the great Air, as it is called by the elves, floating to what you know as Calmerberg. This is the same raft that you were on many, many years ago. We're going to hop back to Logan, and then we're going to cycle through the same way we walked through the doors. Logan, you enter into your room, and you see standing there in your room is the Emperor. He looks back at you, and he goes, Ah, Callan, I see you have come to greet me. What is it that you would like from me, Callan? What do you want from me as your friend?
Is there any way to tell what time period this is?
This seems to be a relatively it all kind of meshes together. As you look at the Emperor, it looks like he did when you left. It looks how you could assume he looks when you get back. It looks how he did 20 years ago, or 100 years ago, maybe even 1,000 years ago. Who knows how long he's been around?
Have I collected the artifact that I'm looking for?
You have not. You are here empty-handed.
Okay. Then I'll say, Ah, my good friend. It is a pleasure to meet you again. It has been a long journey.
Indeed.
I only wish to see our country flourish and thrive. For the moment, I have nothing to ask of you. But be prepared. I will call upon you soon.
You would call upon me? What if I called upon you? And you see the Emperor's uh, pale complexion and light hair seems to turn even paler as his hair begins to darken and he's wearing long robes. He goes, Callan, what if I asked something of you instead?
Has he ever displayed signs of being sick in the past?
Callan or the
No,
Emperor?
the Emperor.
The Emperor has elvish constitution. It seems that
Okay.
illness does not come to him easily. But you know this
And
no longer as the Emperor. You know this as someone else. Callan, you have two people that exist in your world right now. One who elevates you in status, and one who elevates you in power. And both of them hold a similar point in your mind. Above you.
And this
So,
is the latter,
yes,
the one who grants me power. Okay.
yes. And he says to you, so I ask my question again, Callan. What is it you ask of me?
I wish for the power to see your ends fulfilled.
My ends
Grant
fulfilled.
me this power. and together we shall build a better Erehim.
You see this pale-skinned, dark-haired elf looks at you, and he smiles. He goes, Callan, you and I will not just build a new Erehim. We will reinvent Erehim, make it better for everyone. And you see, he puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel invigorated with the ability to move forth, when again his form flickers to a little more rosy-cheeked with blonde hair. The Emperor. He looks at you and he goes, Now, Callan, what was it again that you would ask of me?
I'll smile at him. Kind of a sideways grin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, You shall know soon, my friend. You shall know soon.
You see, he looks at you, and he gives you a friendly look, a look that Callan is all too familiar with, a look that he has given away to others himself. And he puts his hand also on Callan's shoulder, and begins to guide him forward into the darkness once again. We're going to move back to Snog. Snog, you begin to feel yourself slip just a little bit as you and the young you begin to share the same space. You exist in the tavern at the same time as the same person. And you see him walking toward you. You know Frog. You and Frog were hatched around the same time from the same eggs, around the same area, right?
Right.
But Frog, something happened to Frog somewhere along the way. Frog stopped being free, stopped being themselves, and Frog became desirous of more, to their own demise, foolishly rushing in to fires, problems, people, and causing them great trouble. And at the time, this didn't sit well with Snog. They weren't raised this way. They weren't raised to be like this. But you know the look on Frog's face.
Mm.
He hasn't come to bargain. He's come to
Dormammu?
ascend. He's come to become more than he is when he enters. As you see, Frog approaches you, goes, Snog! You see, he scratches at his eye socket, goes, I very much like something from you, good friend.
Can I put my arm in front of my old self and be like, do not trust him. He only has ill intent.
You see, your old self seems to not even notice your existence as it steps off the stool and stands before Frog and opens its arms for a hug.
Don't
Frog,
do
my
it.
brother!
He's fallen
Don't do
away
it.
from the church. He's less active.
You see your old nestmate, or nest cousin. I mean, you're not siblings, but your nests were
Yeah.
very close to each other.
Yeah.
You see, he reaches out with his hand and goes, Snog, the world is hard on kobolds. You know that, right?
Do you want me to speak for my younger self, or?
Yep.
Okay.
But now, so at
What?
this point, what we'll say is like you and your past self have merged. So
Okay.
you are. So
Just kinda
basically,
reliving.
play this like you're your past self. Basically,
Yeah. Okay.
we're gonna
All
play
right.
this like this is your first interaction.
All right. Have I hugged him yet?
What's
Like we
that?
finished, like we hugged,
Yeah,
right? We finished
yeah,
the
you
hug.
guys just finished the
Okay.
hug and you split apart and Frog's arm was still on your shoulder.
Okay. And he said, "This world is hard and cold, right?"
This world is hard on us kobolds, he said.
On us kobolds. It is. We are a minority in this world, and it can be hard to get by sometimes. But I've worried about you. Seems like you've had taken some rough company lately.
Sorry, Gwen got in the fridge and it scared me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
but the frog goes, yes, you're right. There are not many of us. In fact, you're the only other kobold I know, aside from our parents who have since passed. It leaves me with a question, something that I'm not exactly certain how to go about asking, but it's very important to me that I can see and understand the world as it is. But how am I meant to do that if I only have half of my eyes?
Um, Let me think. That that is unfortunate that um you cannot see the world as clearly as you used to. But I don't know how self-aware I am, but I'm just gonna play this like this. He's gonna say, but I feel like you haven't seen the world clearly in a while. And I don't think losing an eye will or gain. I think losing your eye. Um, I don't think regaining your eye will help you see the world any clearer than you already do.
You see, Frog considers this for a second and then looks back up at you and says, let me ask you this, Snog. Do you trust me as a friend? As a cousin? Do you trust
How
me?
susceptible, how susceptible is Snog at this time? Is he pretty
Uh,
trusting?
we'll say at this point, Frog and Snog are friends. They have
Okay,
been
yeah.
for a
Okay, so
long time.
I'll say Snog is concerned, but he'll say, "Of course, I trust you." Um, there isn't, like you said, we're the last kobolds around. We got to stick together.
I think you see a little bit of this flash of what Guardian had said to you before you entered. This is the room of malice. You must prove that you can make it or you can know it. And then Frog says, good, good. Then I suppose you would understand why I've come here today. You see, Frog draws his rapier and boom, slashes at your face. At this point, I'm just going to take a little bit of control, Asa.
Sure.
You see, as Snog witnesses a true act of malice, Frog, his friend, his ally, jumps upon him after this speech of there only being 2 more kobolds left. You see as Frog maliciously rips out Snog's eye and takes it for himself, flees from the scene, and Snog, tearing and grasping, grabs the hat and the scarf as Frog slides out the door and goes away. Frog didn't take Snog's eye because he thought it would be fair. The eye that is inside of Frog's skull right now is Snog's eye. And Snog, witnessing this true act of malice, truly knows it. You see the other entrance, you see the exit of the room of malice. And Snog remembers a time when he could see the full world himself, and he saw some of the good that might have persisted in it. He hasn't been that good for a long time, but he holds on to that very close. And once Frog is dead, perhaps Snog too can see the world in a kinder light yet again. We're going to move on to Isariel. Isariel, you start to walk through this area, this grate. So you walk. Again, the alarm. Going off. Lights flashing. These drones pulling tubing and wires to different areas to put it back together. When slowly, you approach the chair in which that skeleton sat. That arcane or that metallic skeleton is sitting. And you look at it. You realize this is not something you built. This might just be you. And as you look at it, it looks at you. And it says, I remember when I walked through this cave. And I'm willing to grant you a loophole. So I've met you here, changed the magic, manipulated it with my technology, and I'm going to grant you passage. There is no lesson to learn, just that you will in time know malice, my friend. You see, it continues to look at you.
What's going on in Isariel's head right now is he's very material. He relies on past experiences a lot for his thinking, for solving problems, for anything that he comes across. He relies on his experience. And as he's thinking about this, he responds with, I do not wish to take any loopholes because I need to experience on my own.
You see, the Clockwork Man puts its arms on either side of its chair, and it stands as the alarms start going off. And it looks at you and it says,
Okay, that's for my.
I remember saying the same thing.
Well, no dip, Sherlock.
Looks and it goes, it is necessary, my friend, for you to become me. So I know at this time, before my own demise, that I must come to pull myself on the path, to put myself forward. When I came through here, I too was waiting. I do not know what experience you would have seen if I had not been here. But if you have your wits about you, you soon someday will know. Do not think of it as a loophole, but an advancement in our development, our creation.
And then he's going to say, if this is to be the outcome, then let it come naturally. I do not wish to advance and skip ahead. I will let it be as it should.
You see, it waves its hand, and the alarm stops it and immediately ceases. You see all the screens start to show flashes and images of things that could be, things that never happened, things that are possible in here. You see in here the death of the mighty dragons, the explosion of the sun, the moving of a wheel as it endlessly turns. You see the flow of the river as it begins, as it bends, as it turns to lakes and continues off into the ocean and flows back through. It says, the malice you have to learn here is Sarialamp, is the malice of time, the malice of continuing. And you see, as he begins to say that, his hands, they're not clean, they're rusted, they're breaking. The malice that you are meant to become familiar with is not a way to skip through, is not a way to move through, as this Omp thought it was. The malice that you have come to understand is the malice of tomorrow and the days following that. You see that it sits down and it goes, well, I suppose this would be the last time we get to meet, or have met, will meet something. And so, perhaps you can be the one that is different, that could end this cycle. But for now, I have a place in it. And you see his joints begin to stiffen as the rust seems to climb and climb. It seems that he is aging faster than you are, that you are a magical vision, and he is real. You see that his hands start to crumble, the shields and the plating upon his body start to fall. And then he melts into ink, and the door in front of you opens. We're going to move on to Barthelon.
Interesting.
Barthelon.
You had a lot of time to think all this through.
It's like he had a whole extra week.
Anyways, Barthelon, you're on the raft, but it's different than you remember it. Crashing thunderstorms. You're not drifting across the Air with the grace of Ojin. Instead, you're drifting like a stranger, without him. And suddenly, a rogue wave climbs 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 feet. Your raft begins to ascend it as it falls and the wave crashes over the top of you. Barthelon begins to feel a pain that he himself has not ever felt. The pain of one's lungs burning as they fill with salt water. You start to feel constricted, harmed, hurt. When suddenly, peace. You look down at your hands and your arms. You're breathing better now than you did on the air, in the land. And you see that your fingers are now webbed. Your fur has shed away to smooth, scaly skin. You have a long tail that allows you to swim freely in the water with claws and talons at your fingertips. You feel at your face, and you feel a large mouth that crests back like a fish's mouth that could open. You can see better in the water than you ever have before. Is this a blessing? Is this a curse? You don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'm so
What
sorry.
happened?
I'll be right back.
Someone did the knocking sound.
Someone's in his house. Coolin, you should have seen your face, man. You got pranked so hard, brother.
You got, brother.
When you had your finger like that, it looked really long. E.T.
E.T. go home.
Is that what he says? Does he say phone home or go?
E.T. phone home.
I mean, Ace are the only ones that can do that. Hey, Right back at you, buddy.
I cannot.
What is?
I can only-
Did I get grease all over my finger or something? Gross, dude.
Disgusting finger oils. Blech.
Right. Oh, and then I could.
Don't worry, everyone. I
Ew.
have a fabric softener right here. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Can't do it with this one though. This goes like this.
And all I see is streaks.
And I can go like.
Fabric softener.
Oh.
Ew.
Does the trick.
My
So,
pinkies
well-
don't
M
get any
fish.
straighter than that.
One of my pinkies is shorter than the other
What?
That's not
because
fair.
I
Wait,
jammed it playing
remember-
basketball.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
Hey, someone
Miss
said
this.
fish. I have a fish over there. See?
Now, Coolant.
Since we're kind of off topic already,
Where's Anna?
she's right here. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah.
Here.
No.
Sit in the chair.
What's up?
Get in the chair.
Get in the chair. I was told to get in the chair. Okay.
Hi.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
This is the crew.
Hi. Hi, crew.
How are
I'm
you
free.
doing?
Bad.
Good.
So bad.
Oh wow.
But Coolant, that's your daily life.
What can
Hi,
I
Seth.
say?
She just takes over. All right. Thanks, Logan. See you later.
Okay, you can go.
Logan,
now.
you can go.
You can go.
Bye, Logan.
Go make dinner.
Oh.
Go to the kitchen.
Go deadlift or
Wait.
something.
Food. I'd like a sandwich, please.
This is
I'm
a
kidding.
good time. I need to use the restroom really bad. You can
Bye,
watch
This
me
is a
walk all the way to the
constant.
door.
This is Coolin's constant throughout every campaign.
It is.
Colin's leaving. He's nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous.
He's got a
He
nervous
said he
pee.
quit. He said he quit. It was nice seeing you guys.
Nice meeting
Nice
you.
seeing you.
I'm gonna go make the sandwiches now.
Okay.
Look at him.
Oh, look
Look
at
at him in the
that.
back there.
Yeah, look how happy he is.
Look at him.
Oh, what is he doing? Is he? Ooh.
He's getting his junks. Sorry, not gonna say that on stream. Not gonna say that on stream.
Yeah. The chair is very.
It's very.
Placed.
It's
Very well played.
Coolant. Coolant. Everyone look. Coolant. 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 Coolant.
Here, I have an idea. Let me
Move
just
the
change
chair.
this.
Coolant. Coolant.
This is not working. Ah! All right, I'll go back to this. Oh no, what's going on? This one.
Well, I will leave too. I'll be back soon.
Okay. I'm also gonna go and get a snack.
All right. So 5-10 minutes.
Just look at my text.
Mute
Not
or
you, Asa.
Oh.
I didn't text you. I can text you.
Okay.
I go peace.
Okay, bye.
You.
Did everybody leave? There's nobody at their chairs.
He quit.
They literally left. They did. Oh gosh. Well, I'm gonna
Oh,
Huh?
I got some snacks. You want to see them?
Yeah.
So I got my peanut butter trail mix.
Nice.
I got my peanut butter M&Ms.
Nice.
And then I got a box of Chippies.
Bro holds up the entire family pack of chips and goes, I got some chips!
I got some
Gwen,
Chippies.
You might want to take these, because I'm going to finish them if...
Oh, look.
Coolin's talking about the numerous amount of L's that he's ready to hand out.
Oh, yeah?
You might want
my
to take
chocolate.
these. L, L, L.
Oh!
I also got some chocolate.
What's that? No. Well, unless you're going to cut one for yourself. Okay.
Dude, I am so confused right now.
Why?
Logan.
Are you streaming?
Yeah.
Logan.
Are you muted? Are you at We'll Be Right Back? Are you streaming?
Yeah.
I am muted.
Are you muted? Are you at
Everyone's
We'll Be Right
muted.
Back?
They can see us talking, but no one can hear us.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
We are now currently at the Be Right Back scream.
Dude. I texted this to Caleb, but that kind of sickened me a little, dude. Just from the perspective of someone who's been cheated on, it's like all I could think about was her boyfriend. I'm like, that just...
Dylan, do you know much?
Has
the
the
story?
status changed? Yeah, Turbo
I don't
gave
know.
me the rundown.
Oh. As far as we know, nothing's changed. Until now.
Are they smashing it out real quick?
It's gonna suck if he has his headset on.
Hey, Logan, come back here. I require your knowledge.
I doubt he does, but...
Usually he takes it off.
Yeah.
And
So-
since
sorry.
she's there.
Sorry, Turbo, that halfway through yours we got cut off.
It's okay. I was going fish mode, but I guess I'll just...
Yeah. Dude, that moment when Jesus goes fish mode. When Jesus doesn't walk on the water, he swims in it. What a Chad.
I remember when that whale swallowed Jonah? That wasn't any whale. That was Jesus.
Jesus was the whale.
What is it? Jonah was a prophet. How does that
Long
go?
time ago. Something, something, something. He knew where to go, or something like that.
Jonah was a prophet.
Was Jonah a part of that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonah was a prophet. Lyrics.
Because the last lyric is deep inside the whale. Followed. Let's see.
Is that a song by VeggieTales?
No, they just sing it in VeggieTales.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah,
When I
this
was
is a
a boy,
different
I
one.
went.
I was like, the song is different.
What is it?
Jonah was
Follow the prophet.
was it? Oh yeah, it is Follow the Prophet. Follow the Prophet lyrics.
Jonah was a prophet, tried to run away, but he later learned to listen and obey. When we really try, the Lord won't let us fail. That's what Jonah learned deep down inside the whale.
Follow the prophet.
That's-
Follow the prophet.
Dude.
Follow the prophet.
That one just kind of dogs on Jonah. It's like,
Yeah.
Jonah
like-
was a coward. Later, he was smart. He was really stupid. So God got involved.
Yeah, it's literally just being like, Jonah was a coward and tried to run away.
Right.
He finally figured out what obedience was, but not until he stopped being a lazy POS.
After the Lord was like, get in the whale.
In the whale. That's the Lord's timeout corner, is the whale.
Right.
Get in the whale. What else was there? Adam was a prophet, first one that we know. In a place called Eden, he helped things to grow. Adam served the Lord by following his ways. We are his descendants in the latter
In the
days.
latter days.
And then it goes, Enoch
the
was a
latter
prophet. He
days.
taught what was good.
That would be a hard drop, eh, Caleb?
No, I have a whole album of primary songs in like rap remix.
Dang.
I have to find it.
In the latter days.
Oh my gosh, dude. I forgot about verse 9. Now we have a world where people are confused. If
confused.
you don't
If you
believe
don't
it, go
believe
and watch
it,
the
go
news.
and watch the
We need
news.
a direction all along our way. If we heed the prophets, follow what they
Yeah.
say.
Wild.
I drank too fast.
I think
I also like number 3. Noah was a prophet, called to preach the word, tried to cry repentance, but nobody heard. They were busy sinning. Noah preached in vain. They wish they had listened when they saw the rain. That one's insane
When they
too.
saw the
crazy.
rain.
I think the worst part about 9 for me is it's now we have a world where people are confused. That
Yeah.
sounds like such a talking down on people. Yeah, you're just confused.
Now we're in a world where
People are confused.
I gotta go find my friggin' Samsung phone because it has all of my freaking music on it.
Oh, how does that one work? How does number 6 work? I don't know how to sing that one. Samuel was a prophet, chosen as a boy. Hannah promised God her son would serve with joy. In the tabernacle, Samuel heard his name. He was called by God and... Oh, he was called by God.
He was called by
And
God
answered,
and
"Here
answered,
I
"Here I am." Follow the prophet. Follow the prophet.
Oh, wait, is it just he was called by God and answered, "Here I am"?
Yeah.
And then, follow the prophet, follow
Yeah.
the prophet. You know what my favorite one was?
What?
I looked out the window
And
and
what
guess
did
what
I see? Popcorn popping on the apricot tree. Did y'all do that
You know
too when you did it?
Yeah. The other one I liked was what is it? Book of Mormon
Oh, yeah.
stories that my teacher tells to me.
Boom, boom.
All about the layman, ancient history. I'm not even kidding. That's
forgot about that. All about the. I forgot about that, dude. Good Nessie. Oh, that's wild. I forgot I forgot the Lamanites.
It kind of reminds me of the Peter Pan song, "What Makes a Red Man Red." Just because of the song, just because of the tone. Don't look at me that way, Glenn. Did you see that? Did something just flicker?
I didn't
Did
see
the
anything
sun
flicker.
flicker?
Who turned off the sun?
What's that?
Son.
Oh, what was the?
Don't. That's smelly.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't talk about where my thing ends on mic.
This is another one.
Jason,
Yes.
can I guess how many hit points that goo monster had?
Sure.
270, more or less.
Let me pull up the stat block.
He had 0 hit points.
So there
was a
were
timer.
there were two options. I think he had 275, unless I fudged the number, because what was supposed to happen is that it was supposed to be I took your average damage outputs, and so there was a chance that by the second round of initiative you killed him before he erupted. But the goo,
Oh boy,
Goo.
I exploded.
the little boy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if my Eldritch Blasts had done a little bit more damage.
Yeah, everyone did pretty close to their average. I mean, like, Caleb did more, Asa did more, and then Guardian rolled crap. Guardian rolled like crap too. So.
I did almost max damage. I just only had one turn because I was last in initiative.
Ah, that's right.
So I did good damage. I just didn't do a good initiative roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of crits though too, which was nice.
Okay. So I have to leave by
4.
by 5.
Oh, 5.
So
So it went from 4 to 5.
So the thing I'm supposed to be at is 5. So I need to leave a little bit after 4. I think 5 is the absolute most I could push it. And I know Asa has to leave at 5, so...
And how much longer are we thinking of playing? If that's the case.
We'll probably get through the tests. And maybe we'll stop. Or maybe we'll finish Turbo's vision, reconvene, talk about what we saw, and then call it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like that.
That's fair.
Okay.
We'll just
Give us a
end it
little
there
more
so we
time
have
to
more.
role play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Tell me
Turbo,
more about my
remind me-
fishification. Cool.
Remind
now.
me what I had said before.
I was on my boat. However, I wasn't protected by Ojin. And so then wave, as you described it, 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 feet. My boat began sailing on it and then completely sunk my bolt. No! And my lungs filled with seawater and I was freaking out. I was like, ugh! And then
You're
you
like,
said,
"What?"
then you were like, your hands began to grow webs and your mouth became Jokerified. And then you were like, wow, this actually feels great in my lungs because I don't have lungs anymore. I have
Bartholon.
gills.
Bartholon, tell me
Exciting.
how you feel about living in a society.
We truly live in... Wait, hold on. Sorry, let me get Bartholon voice. We truly live in society.
Oh! Such a shame.
You get what
Caleb's
you
muted.
freaking deserve.
Caleb's muted. He said something, but he was muted.
I said my problem is that we live in a society.
I'm just a dog chasing
There should
cars.
be no society.
Imagine, I just watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. No society win. Just saying. Because the apes win. The apes... What's
Apparently... Did y'all watch the new, Kong versus Godzilla? Because apparently there's a baby Kong now.
Yeah, the little monkey.
A little monkey boy.
What, the size of a house?
About.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Bigger.
he's a little red monkey.
Because Father Kong... Yes, King Kong is a pastor now. Father Kong is, skyscraper height. So Son Kong is only... He's about house size.
Noted.
I'm gonna go into Photoshop and edit King Kong as a pastor now.
Father Kong.
Father Kong.
The... Alright, so... I think that... my line that I think I wanted to play off was, is this a curse or a gift?
Mm-hmm. So are you asking... Was that just a, rhetorical sit with that question, or are you asking Bartholomew's genuine thoughts?
I think I'm asking Bartholon's genuine thoughts.
I think because this is a vision and he probably, going in last, knows to an extent that this is some kind of hallucination or something.
Mm-hmm.
Given that that's the case, and even supposing it's not and he thinks this is all really happening to him, either way, I think he would view it as a blessing because either A, he sees it as my hallucination that I'm having, I feel so sound in the god of the sea that I am feeling comfort when I'm turning into one of the creatures in his domain.
Mm-hmm.
On the other flip side of the coin, if he doesn't know that this is a hallucination, I think kind of similarly he might be like, Ojin thinks so highly of me as a follower that he wants to welcome me into his domain permanently. So I think he'd see it as a blessing.
Seeing this as a blessing,
Mm-hmm.
Bartholon begins to get near the top of the ocean, toward the surface. And it becomes harder for him to be there. It's far too warm. He's overheating. There's far too much oxygen in the water. It's killing him. And so Bartholon turns around and goes deeper and deeper still, until finally his eyes adjust to the darkness. He can see barely 120 feet in front of him as he touches the floor of the sea. And your stomach begins to growl. You look around, and you see no crop. You see no fish. But what you do see is this small jelly, bioluminescent, pulling itself through the water.
Does it seem to be going in a straight line, or is it just kind of going with the
Seems
flow?
to be acting as a jellyfish.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to eat the jellyfish.
You're
You
hungry.
should.
I am
Eat it.
hungry, but he's gonna tase the inside of my mouth, and someone's got to piss in the fish mouth, dude. Sure, I'll go on the jelly.
You grab the jellyfish. You're so hungry. You grab it, and you slowly eat it, and it stings you the entire way down. Painful, but you're fulfilled. Your stomach full. You look around, even more still, and you see an unfamiliar thing. People in clothing, white clothing. They carry with them a buckler and a scabbard. They preach the word of Zoxus and knowledge, but then they become corrupt and changed, dark, black armor, hatred in their eyes, anger, frustration, and one goal: to destroy all magic that they are not familiar with. Surely this wasn't Zoxus' intention for these people. Surely becoming a fish was not Ojin's intention for you. Bartholon begins to understand something interesting about gifts and blessings given to people by gods. That sometimes a god's malice is taken as a boon. Bartholon begins to float from the sea floor yet again, pulled to the surface where he gasps for water. He's flopping. His form compresses until he's just a fish flopping on a deck. And then you stop. All there is blinding light from the sunshine, a supposed gift from Kor. But you're a creature in the sea. The light begins to fade as you feel your appendages regrow, and the doorway opens before you. Written above the doorway in Celestial, which you can speak, it says, "You now understand the malice of gods." And it pushes you out of the doorway into the next room. All of you stand here before each other in the next room, and you watch as Guardian takes his final step out of the darkness into the room with you. And this room is just a cavity between doorways. The one behind you is closed, says Room of Malice, and the one in front of you says Room of Hatred. That's where we're going to end our session. You guys are welcome to RP, but don't step through the door.
I stepped through the door.
Hey.
I stepped through the door.
Dear God.
I dive through the door. I don't step. Okay, I'm done.
So as we all kind of, I'm assuming I stepped through the door first, and everybody else joined me.
Mm-hmm. You're all
Safe to
gonna have,
assume?
yeah, it's gonna be like Talon stepped, and as he turned around, Snog stepped, and as he turned around, Isariel stepped. Is like we're talking like you guys are exiting at about the same time in a single file line.
It's like we're a footstep behind
Yep.
each other almost.
Yep.
So in that case, as everybody exits the room of Malice, I will turn around and, aware that each of us likely had a vision of some sort, just kind of look at each of them appraisingly. What do your characters look like after each of you guys endures or experiences these visions?
Grumpy.
Whoa! Wait a second, Logan. I'm the DM. What do your guys' characters look like after that experience?
Coolant, roll an insight.
Pardon
Logan,
No,
DM
Coolant,
over
you
there.
already ended the session. You are no longer the DM.
Logan, may I walk
For
through the door?
now,
Logan, may we all walk through the door?
permission granted.
All right, I walk through the door.
I think
No, we're bread.
I think Bartholon, he doesn't look like happy or sad. He just looks not like confused, but kind of deep in thought. He's got a lot of stuff to ponder.
And
my
how about
character's grumpy.
you, Asa?
Upset.
Yeah. Hey.
I would say Asariel looks like he's also pondering, but on the somber side.
Okay. And who went first or second right after me?
Lizard boy.
That guy.
Me?
That guy up there.
Snoge. What do you
That guy to me.
He's that guy to me.
I'm just
Nog,
kidding.
the moment you walk through, and I cover it quickly, you'll see a little half grin on my face. And then I cover it with more of a contemplative.
More of a
thoughtful
what?
than anything.
Contemplative.
Contemplative look.
Oh, okay.
Contemplating.
More thoughtful.
contemplating?
But that little half grin right at the beginning. I don't know. Depending on how upset you are, you may or may not have noticed that.
Yeah.
Say,
I can come through the door, and I'll kind of look at you, and I'll just kind of say, "Well, it looks like your vision went better than mine."
it's quite possible. What in yours? Who did you see?
I'll give you one guess, and it starts with "fa" and it ends with "rog."
I see.
Freaking
So I
snob.
suppose it's no question to say whose malice was given. Well, you survived.
Yes.
On to the next room, yes?
Yes. It never really seemed like we were in any danger, but was what kind of malice did you see?
Hints of my own.
Wait, you're really quiet. Let me turn you up really quick.
Asa,
Say that again.
what are you doing, man?
It hasn't been able to hear Logan this entire
Dang
time. Almost.
What's going on?
No, you're good.
I said, hints of my own.
Okay.
And at that point, the other two will likely have gotten through. And what of the two of you? What visions did you see?
I saw myself far in the future.
And did you like what you saw?
No, but I was accepting.
Sometimes life deals us cards we would rather not have, but we must do the best with what we have. Yes?
Yes, and time is the greatest resource.
And time, life's most limited resource as well.
Is.
The fickle mistress. He'll turn to you, Chase. I'm forgetting your character's name.
Bartholon.
Bartholon.
And he'll just kind of wait expectantly for your response.
After a second of thought, Bartholon will say, I do not believe I have quite the words to exactly describe what I surmise from it. However, I can tell you that rather than being on the receiving end of a god's grace, I was on the receiving end of the very god I worship's malice. And although not enough to break my piousness, I do have quite a bit to think about that I have never really given much crucial thought before.
Religion is one of those things. The gods demand subservience and obedience. They do not demand critical thought. It is up to us to determine the best course of action for ourselves. The gods have their own devices and desires. It is only when our desires align with theirs that they wish to use us and bend our will to theirs. And a thoughtful face will cross over Callan's face,
I think.
and he'll say,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I think as you say that, you'll notice that it's almost like falling on deaf ears. I think Bartholon is so almost like jostled by what happens that what he said to you was just kind of him speaking out loud towards you. And he's just kind of like in his own mind right now, thinking everything through. And so it's kind of hard to get through to him right now.
and Callan will notice that as he's trying to say these reassuring words, and he'll say, Bartholon,